No.
Good evening. Welcome to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park. I'm Mayor Bianca Motley Broom. We have a full quorum present with council members McKenzie, Karn, Arnold, and Gay. And so at this time, subject to my continuing objections to ordinance 2024-01 and the omnibus motion this body passed in January, I will call the meeting to order. Our first item on the agenda is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I believe Pastor Leonard is supposed to do the invocation. All right.
Good evening, honorable leaders and esteemed members of the community. It's a true privilege to stand before you tonight in my second appearance at the College Park Council meeting representing the faith community of Legacy of Glory Ministries at 3557 Main Street. We gather with hearts united in purpose, seeking God's presence to lead and bless our city in this time and for the future. We acknowledge that all authority flows from God alone. To those entrusted with the honor of leadership comes a sacred duty, a charge to guide this community with strength, courage, and wisdom. In times like these, we remember the words of Abraham Lincoln. I quote, "I have been driven many times upon my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom and all that about me seemed insufficient for that day. Today we look to the Lord recognizing that his wisdom is essential to fulfill the great purpose he has for College Park. In the spirit of gratitude, I honor our leaders, Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, Councilwoman Jamel McKenzie, Councilman Joe Karn, Councilwoman Tracy Arnold, and Mayor Pro Tem Roderick Gay. We commend you for your dedication to this city and your commitment to its future. To all governmental leaders present, we extend our respect and appreciation. And to Dr. Dent, thank you for your continued invitation to support this gathering. As we gather in prayer, let us approach with a spirit of honor, alertness, and courage, calling upon God for strength, wisdom, and protection over College Park. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you with reverence, seeking your presence and your wisdom as we begin this gathering. We ask that you bless and uphold each leader present tonight. Mayor Bianca Motley Broom, Councilwoman Jamel McKenzie, Councilman Joe Karn, Councilwoman Tracy Arnold, and Mayor Pro Tem Roderick Gay. Fill them with clarity and courage as they guide our community, and may their leadership reflect your heart and purpose. We lift up each ward of our city, praying that your hand of protection and peace will rest upon every neighborhood and household. Lord, raise up watchmen at the gates of College Park, faithful guardians who will protect, serve, and watch over our city with strength and vigilance. Just as Nehemiah appointed watchmen on the walls, we ask you to station spiritual and physical protectors who stand firm, keeping our city safe and secure. Your word exhorts us in 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 1 and 2, that we pray first of all. Prayers, intercession, and giving of thanks for all men, but especially for those who are in authority. We pray for peace and harmony to prevail in College Park and for this city to be a place where all people can thrive. Father, grant our leaders divine vision for the future of College Park. May this vision be bold and filled with purpose, a vision that brings hope, growth, and unity. Guide them with strength and establish the foundation that honors you and paves the way for generations to come. We take authority over every spirit of division, strife, and confusion that seeks to disrupt the unity of our city. We declare that College Park will be a place of unity, standing firm against all forces that seek to divide. Instead, this city will be a beacon of collaboration and peace, with leaders and citizens working together in purpose and harmony. Lord, your word declares in Psalms 27, "Hear my voice when I call, Lord. Be merciful unto me and answer me. My heart says to you, seek your face. Your face, Lord, will we seek." Lord, we seek your counsel tonight. We seek your direction, your strength, your honor, and your purpose. Lead us in wisdom. Thank you for guidance. Thank you for protection over this meeting and over the future of College Park. May your purpose be fulfilled, and may this city stand as a testament of your faithfulness and love. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, all of those listening to the sound of my voice. Keep an open mind as I read our civility pledge. The way we govern ourselves is often as important as the positions we take. Our collective decisions would be better when differing views have had the opportunity to be fully vetted and considered. All people have the right to be treated with respect, courtesy, and openness. We value all input. We commit to conduct ourselves at all times with civility and courtesy to each other. Those who have a desire to speak this evening, please keep in mind the civility pledge. If you're not at the podium, please refrain from any comments. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Are there any additions, deletions, amendments, or changes to the agenda?
There's one slight little typo here, but I guess we'll tighten that up. Item G, the amount was $320,000. Those extra zeros kind of help me out, so if we can add those on, that would be great, for the record.
Councilmember McKenzie?
Yeah, I'm requesting that we move items F and Q off of the consent agenda onto the regular agenda.
Item 8F and 8Q.
Yes, oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. 8F and 8Q.
All right, so
I
that
have, I'm sorry, I have one.
Okay, give me one moment here. So we'll put those at 9H. 8F would become 9H. So 8F is consideration of and action on a request to approve the proposed City of College Park 2024-2025 citywide events. Item 8Q would be 9I. Item 8Q is consideration of an action on a request for the approval of $35,000 from Ward 4's Community Enhancement Budget to contract with Ignite, a city-approved nonprofit. The funds will assist Ward 4 senior homesteaders by covering insurance costs for water line and sewer repairs due to damages. Councilmember Arnold?
I would like to table item 9A.
All right. So then everything gets bumped up. All right. So 9A would be tabled, removed from the agenda. Any other amendments, deletions, or additions to the agenda? Madam Clerk, Madam Deputy Clerk.
Thank you. We would like to move 5E to 5A, just shift it down. I wasn't aware that the gentlemen are coming from Gainesville. Had I known, I would have put them first, so to respect them in their time.
Sure. All right. So we will just make the Purple Heart City the first of the proclamations. So 5E moves to 5A.
One question before we, city manager.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so 5A, we want to wait on that? Do we, oh, I'm sorry. So with 5A, we want to table that? Was something not quite prepared on that, or
No, we're just moving 5E
we're moving 5?
up to 5A, so everything else gets bumped down.
I thought I heard 5A being removed. Okay, maybe
5A is the introduction of new employees.
I'm sorry, 8A, I'm sorry.
It was eight.
No,
Okay,
9A is being tabled.
got it, okay, got it. 9A, that was, yeah, that was.
Any other additions, deletions, amendments, or changes? Hearing none, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that is unanimous. Thank you.
Approval of the agenda?
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second,
Thank you.
with that correction. Queen, you got that correction?
Yes, the amount,
It was,
yes, sir.
it was all part of it.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, Councilmember Carn has seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Presentation of minutes, 4A, workshop meeting, minutes dated September 16th, 2024.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion?
Yes.
Councilmember Arnold?
We're on the 16th, right?
Yes, ma'am. Workshop.
Motion.
Nothing on workshop.
All right. Okay. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Regular session minutes undated September 16th, 2024.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Councilmember Arnold, did you have an amendment on that? Mm-hmm. All righty. Go right ahead.
Let's see, page 40, line 17. Just a correction to the spelling of my name is Tracie.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything further on that one?
Wait a minute.
Okay.
Okay, I have discussion.
I'll be with you in just one moment. I think she's looking for something else.
Okay.
I am. And doing it electronically makes it a little difficult. I believe on page 54, line 24 should be an A, not any.
Yes, ma'am.
55, line 8, the cost, not that cost.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 55, line 17. Rob a business, not rob business.
Yes, ma'am.
Page 56, line 19, safety plan, not safety clinic.
Yes, ma'am.
And then on page 57, line 9, just had a duplicate phrase that needed to be deleted, and that's it.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Councilmember McKenzie.
Yes, I have quite a few for September 16th. I want to begin with page 18, lines 7 through 11, and I want to preface that minutes are all that we have to recall of what is spoken and decided in our meetings. And I think it's important that the minutes reflect what it is said, but also that when we find that the minutes contain information that is not correct, that be highlighted as well. So in these lines 7 to 11, it was said, secondly, Councilwoman McKenzie, I caution you, and I had an issue. It appears that there was an issue with the STEM project that you had where you got $30,000 of taxpayer dollars, and we still do not know what that was used for. I just want to, for the record, say that I have not received any taxpayer funds for a STEM project, and to my knowledge, as of this morning, the organization running this project has not had a contract even executed by the mayor, nor have they invoiced the city or received any payment for those services. Therefore, in order to provide transparency and integrity in our record keeping, I am requesting that a copy of the unsigned professional service contract for Emergent Life Skills and Education Consulting, their Impairment Zone STEM project or STEM-related after-school project be attached as an addendum to the minutes for our September 16th, 2024 meeting in order to clarify what is false from what is true. That's my first. The second, page 38, and I do have a copy of the actual contract from Emergent that has not been signed yet. Page 38, line 23, it says Faber House, F-A-B-E-R. It should be Favor, F-A-V-O-R, House. Page 39, line 10, it says Legacy of Gordon Ministries, and we did have the pastor there here today. It should be Legacy of Glory, G-O-L-R-Y, Glory Ministries. Page 40, line 14, it's down on the minutes that it was inaudible, but actually what was said was BIDA, B-I-D-A, BIDA. Line 15, inaudible as well. What was said was BIDA, B-I-D-A. Page 41, line 17, should be Granville, G-R-A-N-V-I-L-L-E, and not Grantville. Page 43, line 6, Konica's name should be spelled K-A-N-I-K-A, not C-O-N-N-I-C-K-A. Page 44, lines 6 and 7, Major Denard's name should be spelled D-A-N-N-A-R-D and not D-E-N-A-R. In both lines 6 and 7, that should be corrected to D-E-N-N-A-R-D. And that's all that I have.
Councilwoman McKenzie, just for my clarity, you for page 18, line 7 through 11, you want me to attach empowerment zone contract. So nothing to review in that line. Just keep it the same and just attach that.
Yes, just attach it as an addendum
Yes,
to the
ma'am.
minutes for the meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Thank you.
Mr. Denmark, in regard to attaching addendums to the minutes, I mean, the minutes are a record of what was said at the meeting. I don't recall attaching an addendum in the past, and I think that's a little unorthodox.
Madam Mayor, it may be unorthodox, but it's certainly not prohibited. And I think that Councilwoman expressed the reasons why she wanted to add that addendum, and there's no rule that would prohibit an attachment or as an addendum to the minutes. It doesn't compromise the integrity of the minutes. It doesn't detract from the minutes. It just adds context.
Okay. Well, in that case, then I would ask for, give me one moment here. Be with you in just a second, because we need to add another addendum to those minutes. And that would be the, Madam Clerk, it would be the the minutes from the regular session from February 17th, 2020 that reflect the motion to renew City Manager Terrence Moore's contract for 1 year, which was moved by Councilmember Clay, seconded by Councilmember Allen, where Councilmember Clay voted yes, Councilmember Allen voted yes, Councilmembers Gay and Taylor opposed, Mayor Motley Broom voted yes. And so if you would add those as an addendum to the minutes as well. Thank you much.
City Attorney, I'm assuming those are two separate requests because they're totally different situations. The latter being that none of us were up here except for one individual, so I'm not approving anything that I was a party to.
They've already been approved.
I'm not approving the addition of an addendum to something like that, but that's just me. So we're going to vote those separately. They're two different situations, I think.
They're all to the September 16th, 2024 meeting minutes.
And they're two separate addendums. I want them voted separately again.
And, all right. So all those in favor?
Question,
Councilmember McKenzie?
what are we, just a point of clarification. So you, Madam Mayor, you just mentioned something from February 2020.
Yes.
So we're not voting on that right now.
No, those are the regular session minutes that reflect the motion to extend Terrence Moore's contract. There was comment during the last meeting in regard to how Mr. Moore made his exit and wanted clarification on that.
Oh, I see. I got you. Okay. All right. I understand.
All right.
Okay.
So all those in favor for the minutes from September 16, 2024 with those amendments?
Aye.
All those opposed? There.
Ask the question again, I'm sorry.
Councilmember Arnold?
Oh, aye.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. All those opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstain. Again, for the
All right.
record, City Attorney, I think we need to separate those items.
The motion passed. 2 members in favor, 2 members abstaining. So
The motion hasn't passed.
I called Councilmember, you didn't make
there
a
was a
motion. And so you said you wanted it, but you did not make a motion. So the motion passes to approve the regular session minutes from September 16th. So the workshop meeting minutes from October 21st, is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. The regular session minutes from October 21st, 2024. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion?
Discussion.
Yes.
Councilmember McKenzie?
Okay. Line. So this one, we don't have pages, we just have lines. So line 466, the spelling of Miss Abdullah's name should be Abdullah and not Abdullah. Okay. And then lines 1088 through 1091, and I will read what that says. It says, "You can talk about all the respect you have for me in public and then say that you know that I'm brown on the outside, but you're not sure what's inside when you're sworn under oath." I want to have clarification that this record is a misquote of a disposition that I made on August 20th, 2024, while under oath in a racial gender discrimination lawsuit that was filed by city staff members. And the statement has been twisted and taken out of context from what I actually stated while I was sworn. My request as well is that the actual excerpt from the deposition, which I have in my hand, was the actual words that I really said, for that deposition be attached as an addendum to the minutes to distinguish between what is false and what is true. And that's all that I have.
Councilmember McKenzie, could you read that for the record?
Read the,
What your actual quote was?
the actual quote. In order to read the actual quote, I would have to, Attorney, is it okay for me to read all of this from a deposition? Because I actually have, it was taken out of context, so I would have to actually read more of the deposition than actually what the statement is, but I don't think that that pertains to the minutes.
If it's going to be attached to the minutes anyway, it's going to be a public document, so.
So read it? I can read it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sure. Okay. All right. So this is the context. The question is, and Councilwoman, without being rhetorical with you, what does it say to you that we're sitting here about to elect a black woman president of the United States, quite possibly, and you have folks in College Park saying for you to get a job, you've got to make a white man your number two? Then Ms. Spearman says, object to form. My response, it's just the reason why our vice president had to pick a white man in order to win and become president. It's a societal issue, and in my city, we had two white men who were on council, a mayor who I don't know, she's brown on the outside. I can't speak for the rest, but she seems to side against certain women in our city and side with white people. And what those councilmen were saying is that if we can get Shars to put on a white guy on, then we can get we can get at least one of their support, because we needed some consensus to get her as the chief of police.
Thank you, Councilmember. Anything else?
I have a couple of corrections. Page 167, line 750. The correction to the name is Shawn, S-H-A-W-N, not S-E-A-N. Line 751 is Sierra, C-I-A-R-A, not Sierra, S-I-E-R-R-A. And line 776 on page 168, it's Godby, not Darby. So it's G-O-D-B-Y, not D-A-R-B-Y.
All right, any other changes? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. That was unanimous.
Proclamation, resolution, plaque, and announcements. We will start with the Purple Heart City. You all have the proclamations.
Thank you.
So does everybody have a resolution? Yeah.
Okay, this is the City of College Park proclamation for the Purple Heart City. Whereas the City of College Park has always supported its veterans population, and whereas the Purple Heart is the oldest military decoration in present use and was initially created as the badge of military merit by General George Washington in 1782. And whereas the Purple Heart was the first American Service Award or decoration made available to the common soldier and is specifically awarded to members of the United States Armed Forces who have been wounded or paid the ultimate sacrifice in combat with a declared enemy of the United States of America. And whereas the mission of the Military Order of the Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill among combat wounded veteran members and their families, promote patriotic spirit, support legislative initiatives, and most importantly, make sure that we never forget. And whereas the City of College Park has a large, highly decorated veteran population, including Purple Heart recipients. And whereas the City of College Park appreciates the sacrifices of our Purple Heart recipients made in defending our freedoms and believe it is important that we acknowledge them for their courage and show them the honor and support they have earned. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of the City of College Park, Georgia, do hereby recognize all Purple Heart recipients within College Park, Georgia, and hereby proclaim the City of College Park as a Purple Heart City.
Take a moment to group this up. We'll do it.
Okay, he's gonna do this.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just want to hand this off to you.
Okay. The Military Order of the Purple Heart Special Recognition Award is bestowed with pride on this day, November 4th, 2024, to City of College Park for your dedication and support honoring America's combat wounded veterans by becoming a Purple Heart City. Signed, Louis R. Zayas, Military Order of the Purple Heart, Department of Georgia, Senior Vice Commander. On behalf of the Military Order of the Purple Heart, thank you all for all of your support and your warmth. Welcome to the family.
Thank you one and all.
Good evening. I am State Representative Rhonda Bruneau, District 77. I represent College Park in Clayton County. And College Park is the last city to become a Purple Heart City. And it's very appropriate because it's in the month of November, and so we know that Veterans Day is coming up. Also, in the state of Georgia, on November the 9th is Gold Star Father's Day. The state of Georgia is the only state that honors and recognizes Gold Star fathers. So we would like to thank the City of College Park, and of course, because they also have their sign ready. And yes, and so we'd like to thank them. So now every city in Clayton County is now a Purple Heart City, and the county is a Purple Heart County. So thank you.
Well, good evening, family. I am State Representative Kim Schofield, District 63, which is the Fulton side of College Park. And I want to be very clear, this is an honor for us to stand before you to recognize this city and all of the veterans for the service and for the families that have sacrificed. So this is not just, I want people to ride through this city and see this Purple Heart sign and know that this designation means not only do we value and we love, but everybody in here respects and honors those who have gone before us and paved the way. So thank you to all those that have served and have been Purple Heart recipients, but not only that, that feel the love that we have as a city in College Park. So Fulton County was designated as a county now that has a Purple Heart designation. And the last city in this district will be Hapeville. And then all the cities going down will be Purple Heart cities. So thank you for being part of the family, and thank you for all the men and women in the families that have served. And now at this time, I will bring up Commander Wayne Collins, who has been a champion and my right-hand person for all this work. Thank you.
I just want to thank the mayor and council and the citizens of this great city for allowing us to come in and recognize the veterans in this community. Clayton County has one of the largest veteran populations in the state, and it's only fitting that we as servants, we pay tribute to those military men and women, the guardians of freedom, the guardians of democracy. Thank you, and God bless America.
Yeah, I could have maybe and let's tilt the sign forward. Yep, like that. Keep the reflections out of it. Give it a push out real quick. All right, group. Go straight. Lower the sign just a little bit. There you go. All right. On three. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Again. Tilt the sign a little bit more forward.
Wayne, we need for you to come on in here.
Good. I picture the post office.
Perfect.
Let's see one more. Wait, that's more. One more. This way. And look back this way for another person's phone. All right, thank you.
Job well done.
Next is the introduction of new employees for the month of October 2024.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council.
I'm Rose Stewart. I'm the Director of Human Resources and Risk Management. We have several new employees for the month of October. At this time, I'm going to ask those employees to come forth, provide the name and the department number, and greet Mayor and City Council. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. My name is Recruit Sequoia Hardy. I'm with the College Park Police Department.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I am Zori Chambliss, a recruit for the College Park Police Department.
Well, good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Benny Isom. I'm a recruit for College Park Police Department.
Evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Tariq Rashid, police recruit for College Park Police Department. Hi, my name is Charles Brayton. I'm a new recruit hire for the fire department, and I'm excited and honored for the opportunity.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Peter Evans, and I'm a recruit with the City of College Park Fire Department, and it's a pleasure being here. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Janae Lamb, and I am a recruit with the City of College Park Fire Department.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Devin Davis, and I'm a recruit with the Fire of College Park. I just want to thank you all for having me. Came down from Chicago. I love everything about Atlanta, and I'm very excited to be here. Thank you all for having me.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name is Kathleen Saintsvot from the Fire Recruit, College Park. I'm honored to be here with you all.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm not new, but as you all know, and she had to leave early, you know Keisha Gass from my department from communications. Keisha came in as a contractor a couple years ago, and she has been our communications coordinator. And on today, November 4th, she was officially promoted to a communications manager. And you all know Keisha, and I thought it was worthwhile to know that you have a new manager in that department. So that's our new employee.
And again, I'm Rose Stewart, Director of Human Resources and Risk Management. I was a new employee as of last month.
Amazing. This way, just a little bit. And then count some again. There you go. All right, on three. 1, 2, 3. Again. 1, 2, 3. Last time. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Up next, Employee of the Month, Derek Johnson.
I would like to introduce Mr. Johnson. This employee returned to the City of College Park in May 2019 and has been very instrumental to our team. He always has a smile on his face and never complains. When you work at night like Derek does, it's easy to be overlooked. However, his contribution and hard work behind the scenes plays a vital role in keeping our city clean, safe, and welcoming for all. His consistent dedication, positive attitude, and willingness to go above and beyond are testaments to his commitment to our team and to everyone who passes through our doors. He approaches every day with a level of care and pride that does not go unnoticed. Please join me, City of College Park, in congratulating our October All-Star of the Month, Derek Johnson, on a well-deserved recognition. Okay, all right.
Turn your foot, yeah, there we go. And then let the mayor help him hold it. Looks like maybe too heavy for you. And then Councilman Carnes, that's right there. All right, on three. 1, 2, and 3. Again, 1, 2, and 3. Last time, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Councilwoman McKenzie.
Got to reset everything for short people down here. All right. Y'all can stay. You can face it. Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. This is a City of College Park proclamation recognizing Unity Day. Whereas designating Thursday, December 26, 2024, as Unity Day in the City of College Park. Whereas the City of College Park stands as a vibrant community characterized by its diversity, rich traditions, and collective resilience. And whereas our strength lies in the unity of all individuals, regardless of race, ethnicity, religion, or background, fostering a sense of belonging, inclusiveness, and whereas the spirit of solidarity and togetherness promotes understanding, compassion, cooperation, love, and respect amongst our residents, and whereas United Action for the Advancement of Humanity Incorporated, which empowers females, enlightens males, and fosters racial unity, has championed efforts to enhance and to promote unity and cooperation within our community. And whereas recognizing a designated day focused on unity serves as a powerful reminder of our shared concerns, desires, values, and the importance for a common purpose and the fulfillment of those concerns, desires, and values. Be it further resolved. Let this proclamation inspire all of our members in our community to participate in prayer, to walk in unison, to celebrate our diverse outlook, and to embrace the shared commitment to connectivity, reconciliation, restoration, and unity that will strengthen us all in the City of College Park. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the City Council and the Mayor of the City of College Park that we do hereby proclaim Thursday, December 26, 2024, as Unity Day in the City of College Park. Proclaimed, well, today, we're proclaiming it on today, November 4th, to make sure that we have this day and that we can put all the preparations together for the day after the celebration of Christmas. Thank you very much. This is from the City of College Park. Take a picture. Come on back in. Okay, put me in the middle. Put the shorty in the middle.
No, don't take a step up.
Step up?
No, almost that.
Oh, okay. Is that bad?
It's not that bad. We can always do this. Come this way. All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3. I can't count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. We appreciate everything that you're doing. We'll try to put this together. Thank you so much. So
Next.
much need.
Proclamation for Judge Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore, Mayor Pro Tem.
This
This is a proclamation. I'm gonna need Senior Councilman Corn to come down here, and he's gonna accept this award on behalf of Judge Thelma Watts Cummings Moore. But I just want to make a few comments. I don't actually know her personally, but what I can tell you is that she was our first chief judge. We grew up in Atlanta. I'm a fourth generation native, and there was a barbecue place called Wyatt Barbecue. But she told me one day she's not related to them. But the reason why I thought it was fitting for the city to recognize her is because after years of practice, she could have been anywhere, but she decided to continue her practice in College Park. For that reason, I think that says a lot about us as a community. Other two things I want to say is, what I can tell you is that in the 90s, I was going through a serious legal battle. It involved a lot of money. And I went before her, and I didn't have an attorney, which is not good. But she actually gave me standing, and she actually heard me out. And so what we learned is that not only was she powerful, but she was fair. And one day I saw her years later, and I said, Judge, you know, I'm so intimidated by you. And she says, you know what? I have to do the right thing too. So, Judge, this is for you. And Councilman Corn is gonna actually accept this and read it, because one day she told me that she was good friends with Joe's mom. So we all know she's a infamous jazz singer. So I think it would be an honor for her friend's son to read a proclamation that we sponsor. So Joe.
Thank you, Councilman Gay. I met Mrs. Moore when I was a small child, and that was the first time I'd ever seen a judge that looked like my mother. So it definitely stuck in my head, and I guess it's apropos that tomorrow's a big day. And we're gonna go through this here briefly. Whereas Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore has dedicated her distinguished career to the practice of law, serving the residents of College Park and beyond with integrity, compassion, and a deep commitment to justice. And whereas Judge Moore has been a prominent figure in the city of College Park's community, establishing her law practice on Main Street, where she has served clients and upheld the highest standards of legal professionalism for many years. And whereas through her exceptional legal acumen, community involvement, and mentorship, Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore has made significant contributions to the advancement of law and civil rights, inspiring countless individuals and fostering a stronger, more just community. And whereas her practice has become a respected institution on Main Street, contributing to the cultural and economic vitality of College Park, and serving as a beacon of leadership and service. And whereas it is fitting and proper to recognize and honor Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore for her lifelong dedication to justice, her impact on the legal profession, and her unwavering support for the residents of College Park. Now therefore it be proclaimed by the Mayor and City Council of College Park, Georgia, do hereby recognize Thelma Wyatt Cummings Moore, proclaimed this 4th day of November 2024. Let's hear it, y'all. What's your family? She's here.
Can I be seen?
There you go. On 3. 1, 2. Again, 1, 2. Smile.
All right.
That's it. That's it. We're good. Next, we have remarks of citizens. First, I have Barbara McKee. First, I have Pastor Marjorie Dent.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Good evening.
And all who are present. I want to start off by recognizing Pastor Adrian Leonard, pastor of Liberty Baptist on Main Street, College Park, who are here for the invocation. He and his wife are doing a splendid work in our community, and we are thankful. And so I'm sorry it's late. I'm recognizing him at this moment. But he and his wife are doing a great job, and it's got to have someone from the community doing an invocation. Next, I want to thank Councilman Roger Gay for recognizing members of his constituent by creating a mural on Herschel Road, Ward 4. The mural is a tribute to the people who built our legacy and those who will carry it forward. Together, we are creating a canvas of shared history and hope, a daily reminder of the strength and beauty in our community journey. And that is a quote from Councilman Roger Gay. And Saturday, I went and took some pictures, and lo and behold, I was included. And lo and behold, I had my uniform on, just like this. And thanks to Councilman Jamel McKenzie, who started the chaplaincy, and we're the 70th year of chaplaincy in College Park. And so, thank you.
All right.
And also want to hand the time to Chaplain Barbara Key, the Program Director of Mercy Missionary Health Operations, College Park. Director McKee will tell you about the absolute success of the Pumpkin Patch Plaza and its collaboration with Ward 3 Recreation Center staff, Conley Center, and Brady Gym, working with Officer Paniagua, Officer Porsche, and their staff, and all of the College Park Police Department. It was amazing, and thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Dent. Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. Well, I've got a lot to say. But first, I do want to thank Councilwoman Arnold for allowing us to be in Ward 3. We had an epic time. Also, Mayor and Council, I just want to thank you for supporting us. Dr. Dent, thank you for giving me this opportunity to co-organize the Pumpkin Patch. It was a treat for me. Also, the police department. Sergeant P, I had called him, and all the police department, the community gives, and I don't want to start naming names because I will forget. Also, the fire department. You can't ever leave the fire department out because they're looking after us. Also, Melissa and Lance from the recreation department really bared with us. And we have one volunteer here, Heather, who helped us with the candy apples. I just want to thank all the volunteers. And it was so much, it was enthusing for me because I just love pumpkins. Also, I want to thank the neighbor newspaper for covering our story. Yes. Not last, but all the volunteers that helped us, and most of all, the community that came out to enjoy the trunk or treat. The hayride was something else. We loved the hayride. So being the co-organizer of the College Park Pumpkin Patch gave me an opportunity to talk about pumpkins to the community. Not just seeing pumpkins, but to educate children on pumpkins. On Thursday, we had the Special Needs Olympics there at the Garvey Rec Center. They came out 4 busloads. That was really dear to my heart. Also, on the trunk or treat night, yes, Chief Rogers, I agree we might have to find another place because we had traffic backed up. But the children really enjoyed the trunk or treat. All the children did get a pumpkin and some of the adults. So I just want to thank the community again for coming out. I just thank God for the opportunity to introduce this to College Park. And we want this to be an event every year. And we do want to find someplace else, Councilman Gay, to hold this at, because I do understand that it did get a little overwhelming, but we had fun. Fun fun in the community, unity in the community. So again, I just want to thank everyone for bearing with us. Thank you.
Next, I have Mr. Rich to discuss Camp Creek Bridge.
I try to make it as quick as I can to the members on this body.
Good evening.
To Madam Mayor and the council members, and the gentle ladies on this council member. My name is Mr. Rich. I am here to highlight and to request that this council name the new bridge over Camp Creek Parkway be named the Tuskegee Airmen Bridge. I base this request on two reasons: for their dedication and service to their community, and second, to their dedication and service to the branch of the service of the armed services that they served. Camp Creek is a busy parkway and a special place in the community. And these African American soldiers were relentless, and they were faithful to the government of the United States. And to those seated here on this body, if you have taken notice, Camp Creek is actually named Tuskegee Parkway. So collectively, if you put it together, the new bridge will be in line with the naming that Camp Creek is actually named Tuskegee Parkway. I make this request as personal, and I am dedicated to my interest in this to Madam Mayor, and to the gentle ladies and to the gentlemen on this council. I thank you for your time, and one other person.
Thank you. I'm Elmira Williams, and when he told me he was coming, I wanted to come to voice my opinion too. My father was in World War II, and he was one of the first black policemen in Atlanta. So, you know, there are a lot of firsts. And the Tuskegee Airmen, this was applicable tonight because College Park is a Purple Heart city. So, you know, this all goes very well. And I too feel like they shouldn't have to, if they name the bridge, they shouldn't have to share it with anybody else. It should just be the Tuskegee Airmen. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Dr. Anderson Henry. I don't want to mispronounce your name. To discuss Chairwoman-elect of Clayton County.
She had to leave. She had to leave.
Okay, great. Next, I have Elizabeth Lester to discuss gratitude clause and miscellaneous.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I wanted to come up today to speak briefly about the proposal to allocate $35,000 from Ward 4's community enhancement budget to contract with Ignite, a city-approved nonprofit. Partly because upon reviewing the details, I'm concerned that it may violate the Georgia gratuities clause, which is in the Georgia Constitution. Funneling $30,000 plus through a nonprofit does not mitigate the potential legal implications of this arrangement. The gratuities clause is designed to prevent public officials from using city funds in a manner that could be perceived as providing a benefit or favor to specific individuals or groups. And this proposal raises significant concerns about compliance with that clause. To evaluate whether there is a potential issue with the gratuities clause, the question is asked whether the government is receiving sufficient consideration for the compensation being given. This looks at whether there is a fair return of value or a substantial benefit being given to the city. Here, the city is paying a nonprofit $35,000, $30,000 to facilitate a program covering insurance costs and repairs for seniors experiencing issues with their water line and sewer. While this is a commendable program, it's not clear to me how this confers upon the city a substantial benefit. It clearly benefits the individual seniors that will benefit from the insurance being paid for by the city, but how does that translate to a substantial benefit to the city? It's also important to consider whether this payment arrangement will be disclosed to the third-party service providers involved. Transparency is crucial, especially given that residents enrolled in this coverage can already manage their nominal cost of $3.50 per month, which provides coverage of up to $10,000 for necessary repairs. Does the company providing this insurance understand that it is the city that is actually covering these costs, even if the money is being first transferred through a nonprofit? I would strongly encourage the city to further evaluate the legality of this and determine if there are other avenues that could be used to help our seniors. If nothing else, it may be worth requesting an opinion from the state attorney general on whether it is permissible before subjecting the city to yet more risk of controversy and scrutiny of actions that on their face are of questionable legality. Other decisions include decisions to waive or significantly discount rental fees for religious organizations renting space in our recreation centers under terms that are not being offered to other secular organizations. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I urge you to carefully consider the implications before approving it.
Thank you.
Thank you. 1 second. Next, I have Sherry Godfrey to discuss code enforcement.
Good evening. I'm Sherry Godfrey. I reside at 1966 Lyle Avenue. I wanted to express concern about the pilot program proposed by Councilman Karn to add part-time city ambassadors or a code enforcement task force. While I appreciate the intent to enhance our community, there are several key issues that are concerning. The first is it's not clear whether these ambassadors or code enforcement officers are classified as contractors or city employees. This distinction impacts the accountability, oversight, and the benefits afforded to these workers. Secondly, the compensation structure appears to be misguided. Allocating $40,000 per year for part-time positions seems inefficient when the funds could better be used in hiring full-time staff who will provide consistent, reliable service. It's also not clear how it will be determined which areas or property owners will be targeted. There's significant potential for misuse of the program. Documentation obtained through open records requests already reflects attempts of council members targeting property owners and trying to cite them after code enforcement has advised them there's not sufficient cause. So the details of the duties of the ambassadors and their integration with existing city services is also missing. Are these officers duplicating those efforts? There are successful ambassador programs in other cities such as San Francisco, Houston, Portland, Oregon. These cities use volunteers and they focus on clean up public spaces. They also connect residents with city services, but they ensure that the volunteers are not overstepping for roles that are better suited for staff who are well-versed in code regulation and code enforcement. So you also want to highlight that the ambassadors in these other programs are volunteer. They do not receive compensation comparable to full-time employees. If our city implements the ambassador program, there needs to be robust protections and accountability measures in place to safeguard against potential misuse and guidelines that establish that council members and or the city manager will not use the ambassadors to unfairly target property owners. I appreciate the intent to address the cleanliness and blight in College Park, but the proposed program presents risk of lack of clarity and there are not clear operational guidelines in place. So I urge the council to revise the approach and explore alternatives that would better serve the community and work in partnership with our code enforcement staff. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next, I have Emmanuel Rainey to discuss Old National Merchants.
I think he left.
All right, moving along. Moving on, I have Lisa Butler to discuss Bill Evans baseball.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you for allowing me to speak today. Is that too loud?
No, you're fine.
I stand before you not just as a resident, but as someone who believes deeply in the value of our community spaces, particularly our beloved baseball field. I'm not sure if the deal's final, but this is my last ditch effort to prevent you all selling it to a builder. This field is more than just a plot of land. It's a gathering place for families, a training ground for young athletes, and a site of cherished memories. It represents our commitment to youth development, recreation, and community cohesion. Once it's gone forever. My sons and his friends played on this field since they were very young. They have gone on to embrace their dreams in the minor and major leagues and in sports management while serving on community boards. I understand the pressures of development and the need for housing in our city, but I urge you to consider the long-term impact of sacrificing this field for short-term gains. While the proposal for new apartments may seem appealing, we must remember that parks and recreational spaces enhance our quality of life, contribute to our health, and foster community engagement. Morehouse's interest in purchasing the field is a clear indication of its value, not just monetarily, but as a vital part of our community's fabric. By rejecting the offer, we risk losing a space that could serve generations to come. I ask you to prioritize our community's well-being over immediate financial incentives. Let's work together to find solutions that allow for responsible development while preserving our recreational spaces. I urge you to reconsider the future of this baseball field and explore alternatives that benefit both our community and these seeking housing. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Madam Mayor, I don't have any more sign-ins, but we have 15 minutes left for in-person comments.
If anyone wishes to speak, they can come at this time.
Good evening, Mayor and Council, and everyone, neighbors. My name is Shakita James, 1950 Rugby. I already said that. I'm a resident of Rugby Avenue where I've resided for a few years. My family and I love Halloween time. We decorate our house, we pass out candy, and it's really such a joy to see the smiles of all the children and families. Many of you may know my husband Mose, who also grew up celebrating Halloween on Rugby and in historic College Park, and it's a tradition that has brought together generations of families. As a child, Halloween in College Park was a highlight for him. And later, as an educator, he saw the same excitement in his students who would look forward to the magical night every year. This Halloween, we welcomed Councilmember Roderick Gay into our home where he also shared memories of his children trick-or-treating here. We showed him how our own family and friends contribute to our Halloween magic by bringing gallons of candy and countless hours of preparation to welcome thousands of trick-or-treaters and their families. If you can believe it, at my house alone, we pass out over 7,000 pieces of candy. Halloween in College Park has become a pillar of our community, bringing together neighbors from all 4 wards and really families from across the Tri-Cities area. I'm here tonight because while the city dedicates significant funding to festivals and events throughout College Park, Halloween in Historic College Park is supported by the neighbors and community. And many sponsored events, I know they draw a crowd, but do they match the 3,000 plus children who come to celebrate with us? And that's just children, not adults. Maybe, but I mentioned the numbers just to further highlight the need for council and College Park to support, sustain, and grow this cherished tradition. I also want to thank the resident who just spoke about the wonderful trunk or treat and pumpkin event that was sponsored with support of the city. So perhaps, because we're thinking about bigger, we can partner with this event being at City Hall, somewhere in between, to create this magical Halloween festival that combines trick-or-treating, contests, activities, decorating of houses, traditional trick-or-treating on Rugby, Cambridge, and other streets, but it's really going to take the engagement from all of us to make this a success for an entire community. So I'm open to partnering with council members and other community planners to help bring this vision to life. And while I don't have every detail worked out, I do know that with support, we can make a haunted College Park not only be great, but greater. And I really thank you all for your time and consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak? All right. Do you have any email comment?
Yes, ma'am. 1 second. Let me reset my timer. So my first.
Someone wants to speak now. This young lady back. Did you?
Are we able to ask a question? No, ma'am. I'll start with the email from Ms. Jewel Johnson. Medical Angels of Mercy, a healthcare initiative, Talk Back Georgia and Women of Change. The medical community of Georgia and the United States, a pillar of our society, has been under unprecedented strain. The 2020 coronavirus pandemic has exposed the fragility of our healthcare system, exacerbated by the health insurance crisis. Many healthcare centers in low-income and rural areas are struggling to cope. This is a crisis that demands our immediate attention. Medical Angels of Mercy is here to provide the support these areas desperately need, transcending race, political party, and geographical boundaries. Do you love your doctor? Enjoy the care that you receive? You may not have it for too much longer if your doctor is getting close to retirement or burned out. Think about your younger children and younger millennials, Generation X and Generation Alpha. They are going to have a huge issue with obtaining quality health care in the immediate future. The American Medical Association notes that 52% of healthcare providers report experiencing some type of burnout in 2022, a 4% increase from 2021. The AMA noted that young women in healthcare experience the highest level of burnout due to the pandemic with balancing childcare and remote learning of their children. The Kaiser Family Foundation and the Washington Post noted that 3 in 10 healthcare workers are considering leaving their profession, and 6 out of 10 said that the pandemic took an emotional toll on their mental health. HR for Help noted in 2024 that staff turnover, particularly in high-pressure departments like emergency and intensive care units, have been a significant challenge for hospitals. Turnover rates are increasing from 18 to 30% in some facilities. The American Association of Medical Colleges predict a shortage of 122,000 positions by 2032, and an over 65 population will increase by 48% in that time. A University School of Nursing in Pittsburgh observed the following alarming trends. More physicians graduates are seeking to specialize than engage in primary care or family medicine. A need for at least 200,000 new nurses each year to fill labor shortages, along with replacing retired nurses. Healthcare educators are not widely available to meet such demands needed and unmet needs for midwives to help pregnant women. While it's commendable that younger people are doing more with watching their diets and spending more time in the gym, that is only one part of the healthcare equation. We should be mindful that not all are doing such as obesity still run rampant in the United States. MAM is sounding alarm and wants to get back on handle this. Our goals and objectives are as follows: incentivizing high school and college students to consider careers in healthcare, possibly through student loan forgiveness, at least by 50%, so they will not be debt throughout their careers. Working with community media partners across the country, this issue needs to be talked about beyond the healthcare journals and publications, which in turn can get local elected officials from the city, county, and state level working on solutions. My next email is from Ms. Grace McPhillips. Greetings from Grants Lansford. I reside at 3398 Washington Road. I'm writing to express my concern about the continued closure of the Tracy Wyatt Recreation Center rock wall and the Baird Park bathroom. The rock wall was deemed perfectly safe after a $4,000 audit performed by El Dorado Climbing and delivered to the leaders and interested parties, including the city manager, on July 10th by Michelle Johnson. I also sent it on September 24th when Dr. Adediran denied acknowledgement of the report. On October 10th, an additional investigation report was received. I hope that the slim, suspicion-driven inquiry did not cost the city a significant amount of money. However, Dr. Adediran again requested that the equipment, which had been idle for 3 months, be checked again. I'm publicly sharing my follow-up email opinion, which many of my fellow College Park residents share. Open the wall, plan an opening event, recruit a team, use the money wisely on the kids moving forward, and stop the bureaucratic BS. I remind the council you all approve of $60,000 to put towards this effort. Additionally, I would like to request that the Barrett Park bathrooms be reopened. For the price tag of $500,000, our city residents and guests should be able to use this bathroom year-round. Neighbors have privacy code, and we should be able to access these bathrooms at the very least without the requirement of park rangers. Thank you. That's all the time for email comments in those 6 minutes.
All right, so we'll move forward. We don't have any public hearings.
Okay, so moving along to the consent agenda, do you all want me to read out each item?
I don't need it read.
Since we are, we got item 8A, it's consideration of an action to approve Colliers International South Carolina's contract. Item B is consideration of an action on a request from Interim Fire Chief Sterling Jones to provide funding for and approval for the purchase of 4 radio systems from Motorola Solutions. C, consideration of an action on a request to approve quote from Axon Enterprises for outfitting 15 new car cameras in the amount of $143,094.60. Consideration of an action on, item D is consideration of an action on a request to approve quote from Clearview AI for facial image of a suspect in the amount of $15,195. E, consideration of an action on a request to approve the invoice from Magnet Forensics Gray Shift for software and for phone forensics and extractions, the amount of $11,820. 8F is being moved to the regular agenda. 8G, consideration to approve pool management costs in the amount of $144,072 for aquatic management for ongoing services for summer lifeguard and cleaning services. H is consideration of an action on a request for approval to a change order for Caliber Construction for pavilion roof repairs and restoration at Barrett Park in the amount of $30,030. 8I is consideration of an action on a request to replace a sanitary sewer line on Lakeshore Drive in the amount of $97,200. 8J is consideration of an action on a request to replace a sanitary sewer line on Karen Road for $89,700. 8K is consideration of an action on a request to place a sanitary sewer line at 1437 Virginia for $79,530. 8L, consideration of an action on a request to purchase a replacement vehicle for water and sewer for the amount of $60,139. 8M is consideration of an action on a request to replace a lift station vehicle for water and sewer in the amount of $49,190. 8N is consideration of an action on a request to purchase a replacement vehicle for water and sewer in the amount of $60,139. 8O is consideration of an action on a request to purchase a replacement vehicle for water and sewer for $58,287. 8P, consideration of an action on a request for the approval of $50,000 from Ward 4's Community Enhancement Budget to host a free Valentine concert for citywide residents on February 15th, 2025. And 8Q has been moved to regular business. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. 9A has been removed.
Yes. 9B, consideration of an action on request to approve the 2025 city holiday schedule. This item is requested by Rose Stewart, Human Resources and Risk Management Director. This will affect all wards.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Any discussion?
Yes, I do have a couple of
McKenzie,
questions.
go right ahead.
Yeah. no problem with the calendar for the city holidays. I guess the holiday calendar. The question is, the calendar only has the days of the holidays listed, but it seems it was not like this when I first moved to College Park, but I noticed that we are closing the city sometimes, a day early or hours early. This causes a lot of issues for persons that want to pay bills because they think the city's going to be open until 5 o'clock. So I'm just requesting that in addition to publishing the holiday calendar, that we put something out for the public to let them know about early closings as well.
Sure. We can do that, yes.
Rose, I got some comments on that as well. That's not something that we always used to do. And I, for one, city manager, I get it on one hand, but at the same time, I really don't understand that. We pay good money to staff. And if you're working that day, me speaking for myself, I expect you to work that day. I've said it time and time again here, staff, we cannot do it without you. Obviously, we appreciate every day and every hour and every month that you work. But at the end of the day, my obligation, first and foremost, is to the residents of this city. I get calls and complaints every time we close at 2 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I get calls and complaints every time we close at 12 noon or whenever we close, or at 3 o'clock. If the hours are 8 to 5, the hours are 8 to 5. Either you're working that day or you're not, as far as I'm concerned. And again, I make no apologies whatsoever. So, my opinion is, we've got the holidays. We're good. Those are good holidays. And we do some holidays that other cities do not include in their holidays, paid holidays. As far as my opinion, my residents expect the offices to be open the day before holidays so they can handle their business. And closing at 3 o'clock or closing at 12 o'clock or 2 o'clock doesn't work for a lot of my residents. A lot of them don't get off until 4 or 5 o'clock. And they expect that drive-through window open as usual or whatever have you. So, and particularly coming into a holiday. So just something to think about. I'm not for cutting the days before the holidays early. But again, that's just my opinion, and so that's kind of where I'm at on that. I'm okay with the holiday schedule, city manager, but I want us to take another look at, how we cut some of these hours when residents are expecting these offices to be open. Now, if we had a communication plan that worked, then maybe that's a whole nother proposition to talk about. But again, and I've said it dozens of times up here, we cannot even reach every resident in terms of anything that's going on because we do not have a plan and a way to reach our residents. And we have not come up with that system that works yet. So if we can't inform them, I don't think it's fair to take off if you can't notify them properly. And until we're able to do that, I say maybe we come back around next year and take a look at it. Once we're able to communicate effectively to let them know about some of this, if we're going to do it at all. So that's my opinion.
Thank you.
Councilmember Arnold?
So I agree with the comments that both of my colleagues have made. I would like to consider at least one day that we can consider closing early, and that's Christmas Eve. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. Which is not reflected on the calendar. Outside of that, I agree with the other comments that have been made, and so maybe we can consider December 24th as a day that we may let our staff go early, around noon. Those are my thoughts.
Thank you.
The federal holiday for Juneteenth is on Thursday, not Friday. So
I will make that correction.
So, I mean, was the intent to do a 3-day, or was it just an error?
No, it's probably an error. I'm sure it is.
Okay.
Yes. No, it was not.
So it's June 19th, right?
Yes.
That's June 19th, right?
Yes.
Okay, we wanna, yes, make sure we got that. Okay.
All right. Any further discussion?
Just back to, I do agree with the Christmas Eve and maybe even New Year's Eve, but looking at specific holidays, but some of the holidays that we have closed early, they don't really make sense. So I guess if we can, so what can we do? Can we approve the calendar for the dates, the holiday dates, but then work on the additional dates? Is that just kind of, Councilman Arnold, kind of just what do you?
So when you say the additional dates, do you mean like?
The early closing, like Christmas Eve?
Yes, I think that we should have something posted in writing so that the citizens will know. So yes, so Christmas Eve, we should definitely have it posted.
Sure.
And, maybe we can consider having a holiday calendar that may include some additional days in the future. I know that right now we're still trying to get staff on. We're still trying to make sure that we establish these calendars, but just to be a little more consistent with the way that schools are out for children around other holidays, because I know that we have a lot of staff that have children in school.
Right.
And so trying to be supportive around that as well.
Thank you.
All right, so Christmas Eve will be the only early day, is that kind of consensus? And I'm not necessarily happy with that, but I'm okay.
Okay, Scrooge.
Come on, Scrooge.
Well, hey, I mean, here's the thing. It's Christmas Eve as an evening, but I'm fine with that. Again, I got to listen to what my residents are saying first. They expect this place to be open when they need to get in here and take care of some business, but I'm fine with that.
I still would like to see New Year's Eve as well. So.
I think Thanksgiving Eve before New Year's Eve because you got to put the you can start cooking stuff.
All right, here we go.
But,
Any staff have a problem with that?
Any further discussion?
I mean, I'd rather do Thanksgiving and Christmas than Christmas and New Year's Eve.
Okay, all right. I'll give if those are the two. I just feel
Thanksgiving Eve, Christmas Eve.
Yeah, I agree with the mayor.
Okay, Thanksgiving, and then I will
Thanksgiving
give.
Eve, Christmas Eve.
Okay, y'all. I was trying for all 3 days, but if we can get 2.
All right.
Okay.
So, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That is unanimous.
Thank you.
Next, consideration of an action on the request to approve the proposed 2025 Mayor and Council meeting schedule and agenda item due dates. This request is from myself, Deputy City Clerk, and this will have citywide impact.
Is there a motion?
Also, there is a date in December. I need you all to consider either December 8th or December 15th on trend. For the past 10 years, we've always had one meeting in July and one meeting in December. Usually December meeting is that third week, so it's kind of in the middle. I don't know if you all wanted to do December 8th or 15th, because the 15th is kind of close to
What's the first
Christmas.
Monday?
The first Monday is the 1st, so you'll be back in. I mean, it's however you all want to do December, but traditional.
Well, City Manager, I think we need both dates in December. I think we need both calendar dates, and I know we're going to discuss this December. I think we need both 2 meetings in December. December 15th or December 16th of this year is nowhere close to Christmas, and there's no reason on earth why we shouldn't be able to finish up city business with 2 dates in December. Now, if the third Monday fell, the 22nd, 23rd, something along those lines, okay, maybe. But we're talking about December 15th, and this year we're talking about December 16th. But I think we need both dates. Now, for some odd reason, we don't have a whole lot of business wrapping up at the end of 2025, and we say, well, we got it all completely covered, then maybe, but I think we need both dates. I think we need to handle as much business as possible up here, twice a month, every month that we can.
We haven't had.
Any
taken a
further
motion yet.
discussion?
There's been a
Councilmember
motion.
McKenzie?
I don't believe there's been a motion called.
You are right. Is there a
I will
motion?
make a motion to approve this with the addition of, now December 8th is the first Monday?
No,
City
December
Clerk, is
1st.
that right?
No, so
December
it,
1st is the
so
first Monday.
Yeah, with Trend, it will be December 1st and then December 15th.
December 1st, and that the modification that I would make to the motion is to add December 15th.
I'm sorry, December 2nd and December 16th. Wait.
Oh,
One
Okay,
second.
what is the month, what's the date?
What is it again? Thank you.
December 1st and December 15th.
Yeah, this calendar.
No, this is for 2025.
Yes, so it will, December.
2025.
Yeah, December 1st and December 15th, I'm correct?
2024.
Yeah, 1 and 15.
Next year?
Yes, we're approving the calendar for next
1 and
year.
15th, Councilman Carter.
Oh, are you sure?
Yes, I'm looking at the calendar now.
Okay, I would motion to approve with the change with adding December, is December 15th the third Monday?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay, I would want to add December 15th as the second meeting in December.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? I think we've done a great job with that.
Are we talking about 2024, 2025?
2025.
Next year.
I think we've done just fine without having a second meeting in December.
And I think we'll do better with a second one.
Like I said, we disagree on that, but I think we've done just fine.
And
So-
I think we can do better.
I hear you, and I'm just sharing my opinion as well. Thank you.
So am I.
Great. Awesome. Appreciate it. So, Councilmember Arnold?
I have some discussion.
And I do too.
So I understand that we have business to take care of, but the closer we get to, when we get to December 15th, I'm back to what I mentioned earlier about families, children being out of school. And so, there has to be some type of work-life balance, even for our staff. If we're going to have a day in December, I like that, but adding another day just adds more to the staff, and then it's not really supportive of those families and giving them work-life balance around the holidays. Those are just my thoughts.
Councilmember McKenzie?
As a former school teacher for Atlanta Public Schools and being very well aware of when school closes for 2024 and 2025, school will still be in session on December 15th, 2025. So we are not dealing with children being out of school. I do agree as far as my residents who probably think we should have, some who think we should have 3 meetings a month, is that the fact that we can't have enough meetings. There was a lot of complaining when the July meeting was canceled this year. And just as a legislator, listening to what I hear from my folks, they want us to meet. They want us to make decisions, and they feel like we need to earn this piece of coin that we're making from the taxpayers' dollars. I am of the where I stand right now on this is that we put the dates on the calendar. If for some chance it shows that there's no business to discuss, we just don't have a meeting. I do know that this year we need about 3 more meetings because we did cancel that meeting in July. And I know that's a whole different vote, but we owe it to the people of the city to at least in good faith show that we are working diligently to take care of the business of the city.
Also,
Councilmember Carn?
Kids get out of school December 19th.
That's right.
With 25-26. City Manager, I think that adding this date also supplements your calendar, and it also safeguards us when some of us on this body one of us or if two of us cannot make a meeting, we're covered.
That's right.
With that extra meeting. So I think it obviously makes sense to make sure that we're able to handle all the business and we're scheduled to handle whatever comes up. And that's an extra contingency date as well. So I think it makes good sense. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't want to have that extra meeting. This still has us where we're only one meeting in July. So I'd like to, my motion was to approve this with the addition of December 15th as a scheduled meeting.
Any further discussion?
You stated December 1st and December 15th. Am I wrong?
Correct, that's what you
One
said.
of these
Two
is
meetings.
He wants 2 meetings in December.
2 meetings in December, yes.
All right.
The
Councilmember-
first and the
15th.
15th.
Councilmember Gay.
The only thing I want to say is that that's an election year. And I know, for one, I'm running for re-election, and I'm going to just be coming out of election. I don't know what kind of shape I'm going to be in. I don't know. It's going to be a rough, that's going to be a rough time.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm opposed. Is there another motion? That motion fails. With council members Karn and McKenzie in favor, council members Gay and Arnold and myself in opposition.
Councilmember Gay,
Is there a motion? Hold on, council member. Is there a motion to approve the calendar with one meeting in December?
Well, I'd like to propose a substitute motion, and I have a substitute motion I'd like to propose. Councilman Gay, I understand we both will be coming out of elections, but having the meeting in the event you can't make a meeting, this safeguards things where we can have a second meeting. Would either a date between work for you or the last Monday in December? I was asking him the question, Mayor.
I know, but
Queenie, what
yeah,
did,
I would ask that you
City Clerk-
direct everything through me, because as I'm the presiding officer, I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
City Clerk, what is the last Monday in December?
Madam Clerk, what is the last Monday in December?
Sorry, Deputy, sorry.
Thank you.
That's the 29th. That's,
28th.
no, that's the 2025, December 29th.
Okay, December 29th.
And if we need a special called meeting, we can always do that.
Actually, it's December 30th.
December
Oh,
30th.
okay. And so, why don't we just, I mean, we've been able to move forward with meetings, one meeting in July and one meeting in December for years now. Is there a motion for the calendar with one meeting in July and one meeting in December?
My
We're still on
again,
the first
my
motion.
substitute motion was, and I asked Councilman Gay if the 29th
December 29th.
as well as December 1st would work. December 1st and December 29th.
Councilman Carr, can you repeat that for me? I'm sorry.
My proposal was December 1st and December 29th added to the council calendar.
So you want to do it at, like, in between Christmas and New Year's? Okay. Is there a motion? I mean, is there a second?
I'm not here.
I'm not. Hold on. Is there a second on that?
I think we're still in discussion here.
No, you made a motion.
I
So
asked Councilmember Gay if he would be
you
amenable
made,
to
sir, you made a motion. You said you made a motion, and so there's a motion to approve the calendar with December 2025 meetings on the 1st and the 29th. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Go right ahead. Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
That was my motion.
Okay. Councilmember Gay?
I second it.
Yep. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
All right. It passes with council members McKenzie, Karn, and Gay in favor of having a meeting 4 days after Christmas.
Consideration of an action on a request to place the four-way stop signs at the intersection of Virginia Avenue and Atlanta Street. This request is from Chief of Police Connie Rogers. This will serve as Ward 1.
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Carn. There's always discussion. You have the floor.
City Manager, we talked about that additional stop sign while we're talking. Just want to make sure we keep that in mind. But this is fine.
The signs are on order. Check.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Any further discussion?
I'll say something. Just basically, this has been a crossing that I've gotten a lot of persons that have been concerned about it. Those of you that have driven down Virginia Avenue, when you get to Atlanta Street, there is no stop. There's only a one-way. There's only a stop on a two-way stop, but we don't have a four-way stop. And I just believe in the interest of public safety that needs to be done. So I agree with it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous.
Next is consideration of an action on request to extend ordinance 2024-09, which imposes a 120-day moratorium on acceptance of applications for permits, occupational tax certificates, inspections, or political license for development of any truck stop, truck terminals, trucking facilities, and warehousing and distribution center. This will affect all wards. This item is requested by the city planner.
So move.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
That is unanimous.
Quinn, you skip E.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. E was skipped. Yeah.
Skip one?
Yes, E is
E.
skipped. Yes, the agenda's wrong. Consideration of action on the request to approve the emergency repair for the arena network systems by CDWG, the current vendor. This request is from Yanni Carter, Interim Executive Director.
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Thank you. That's unanimous.
All right. Sorry, it's out of order. I'm sorry, Mayor and Council. 9G, consideration of an action on the request to provide for supplemental staff support services for sanitation and code enforcement, an amount of $3,200. This item is sponsored by Councilman Joe Carn. This will service all wards.
Is there a motion?
Motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? What's the $40,000 for each? What's the budget for?
The budget is $320,000. Wanted to make that correction on the agenda.
But each individual is supposed to have a $40,000 budget. What's that for?
Well, you got 8 individuals there.
There were 4, I thought.
4 code enforcement, 4 sanitation.
It's 8.
Where is this money coming from?
Well, my thinking was, being that this is something that's sorely needed in this community. You know, we talk about excessive litter throughout the city. We spoke on litter blowing in the streets literally for some time at times. We do pretty good as a city in terms of litter, but I think that we have underallocated in a few specific departments because of the fact of our daytime population increase. We're 14,000 people here in terms of population, but our daily population swells to 100,000 people or so, sometimes even more. if we are truly committed to improving the blight and eliminating the blight throughout the city, this is the type of work we're going to need done. This is a pilot program where we're not permanently attached to permanent employees, but I want to do this as a program and see how it goes for a year. And I think it'll be a noticeable, significant change and uptick in terms of cleanliness and in terms of eliminating a lot of this blight, and particularly within our areas that are high risk, our high-risk businesses, which include several motels as well as some multifamily complexes. I think this is something sorely needed. And in terms of funding, City Manager, I understand that since July 1st, when we started the budget, there are some vacant staff positions, and we do have personnel funds that would have been spent that would more than cover the cost for something like this. Is very, very much needed in all wards.
Dr. Adediran, where is the money coming from?
The money will be coming from, we still have some vacancies that has not been filled, but it was budgeted.
Okay, so
Go ahead.
so the so where are those vacancies?
Rose, you have all the number of vacancies? I mean, I don't have the list yet, but it was sent to all of your, the number of vacancies we have.
There are vacancies in multiple departments throughout the city, so there are plenty. There's plenty of personnel funding for this to cover this without any issue, without adding to the budget. All it requires is a budget transfer of some of those unspent funds towards some of this personnel that we need.
I mean, I can recall 2 different times that, where we are as far as vacancy and the money, that we have, that has not been paid to our salary, is being sent twice to the governing bodies.
Yeah,
I know that for a
received
fact.
That's how.
So you also have the figures. I don't have them.
I mean, I
right
think
here.
we got them several weeks ago, but I
We
don't.
got 'em.
I think we got them several weeks ago. I just was wondering, since we're looking at this now, where we are in terms of that, and also we have had a number of unbudgeted things that we have dealt with since July 1st, and so to that end, I would ask that we get a first quarter update in terms of where we are on spending for the December meeting. That we have a workshop item discussing where we are as through the first quarter in terms of spending. A full report on that at the first workshop meeting in December.
No problem.
And City Manager, I'm fine with that, but this allocation is fully funded with more than enough budgeted money that would not add to the budget 1 penny. So I would like to move forward with this. This is something long overdue, and this is something that's needed in every single ward.
And in regard to the volunteers that can be, so they're volunteers?
No.
Because it's written as volunteers here. And it says they can be terminated at any time without the right of a grievance procedure.
Something says volunteers?
The Code of Conduct says all volunteers shall abide by the city's rules and regulations as they pertain to conduct. Volunteers can be terminated at any time without the right of a grievance procedure. Volunteer members will comply with the work agreement as provided to them by the department.
Okay, these will not be volunteers. These will be contract employees for 1-year contracts as a pilot. There won't be volunteers with this program. This is not a volunteer program.
Is there any issue with them not having a right to a grievance?
It's a standard. It's a contract.
I'm asking
employee.
the city attorney, I'm sorry.
Not if they're contractors. A contractor generally would not have a right to avail our grievance process. Their rights would be defined within the 4 corners of the contract.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye. No, I don't oppose. I'm for.
Okay. All right. So everyone's in favor.
1 second. Yes. Thank you.
I understand we're not live.
Correct.
I I would recommend we pause.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just take a brief break until we can return to live.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. We had some technical issues. I believe Mr. Denmark's going to give us a little bit of guidance on that.
Yeah, Madam Mayor, there may have been a portion of the meeting that was not being live streamed, unbeknownst to us. And so, as you all likely know, the Open Meetings Act does not require that local governments live stream their meetings. We only have to have our meetings open to the public, which this meeting was open at all times to the public. However, in light of the fact that we were not live streaming, you may elect to redo that last vote. The vote is perfectly lawful because the meeting was open to the public at all times, but it's your choice.
How long were we out of, how long was this? It all recorded? Yes. So when at the conclusion of this, someone could watch the entire meeting and have, hi, Mr. Curry. Hello.
Everything has been recorded and everything will be re-uploaded after the meeting is done. So the whole thing was recorded. So,
Okay.
as your
All right.
pleasure.
Great. Well, thank you. All right. So, Madam Clerk, where were we?
We were moving to the items that were removed from consent to move to regular. That would be consideration of an action on a request to approve the proposed City of College Park 24-25 citywide events. This is requested by Director of Recreation and Cultural Arts, Michelle Johnson. This is a budget item and will affect wards 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Is there a motion?
I think we needed to discuss all these things and see what we wanted to have and what we didn't.
We need a motion to discuss. So,
I'd like to hear some discussion, Michelle. I'd like to talk about this first. We don't need a motion to discuss anything.
we do actually, and so
No,
if
we
there,
don't. We never have.
as I'm the presiding officer, we need a motion.
We've never had a motion to discuss an item before we decide to vote.
Council member, these are Robert's rules, and so is there a motion?
These are Robert's rules as well. We can discuss an item before someone makes a motion to vote on it.
Council member, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm just asking for a motion so we can move on and actually have the discussion. We can amend if there's something to amend.
There's never been a need for a motion for a discussion.
Council member, I appreciate your sentiment. Is there a motion?
Pull her calendar up here. Can you pull up her calendar?
Pull up. I have
The
to
one,
post an agenda packet.
I
1
don't
second.
see stupid thing.
Is there a motion on this item?
Get my, so moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second? Without a second, we're going to skip to the next item. Okay. It fails. There is no second. All right.
Yes, part of it. Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, next item.
Michelle, point of order. If you can stick around in my comments, I'd like to hear what we're looking at. So I have a few questions for you in my comments. All right, thanks a lot.
Okay. It's not a point of order, sir. But
that was my point of order.
sir, it's not a point of order. It's not, but it actually is not. Next item?
Yes, ma'am. Consideration of an action on the request for the approval of $35,000 from the Ward 4 Community Enhancement Budget to contract with Ignite, a city-approved nonprofit. The funds will assist Ward 4 senior homesteaders that qualify for the senior tax exemption by covering insurance costs for the water line and sewer repairs due to damage. This is sponsored by Mayor Pro Tem Roger Gay.
Is there a motion?
Two residents.
Is there a second?
That may want to give a coverage or additional some
There's always
coverage.
discussion. Thank you. So that is motion by Councilmember Gay and seconded by Councilmember Carn. Councilmember Carn, go right ahead.
Councilmember Gay, I think this is a great idea. I would like to add some additional monies for any Ward 2 residents that may want a little coverage or an option of some coverage. I would like to add an additional $5,000 to this amount for Ward 2. Additionally, City Attorney, I heard a few questions about the legality and properness of this. This type of stuff is not without precedent, so if you want to elaborate on it, I think that might clear up a few rumors or whatever have you.
Yes, sir. The concern has arisen that this would violate the gratuities clause of the Georgia Constitution. Generally, the gratuities clause states that you cannot use public money for a purely private purpose without the city receiving substantial benefit. And the notion is that the city would be giving money to private residents, or to private parties to improve private residents, and therefore violating state law. I do not believe that it violates state law, because what is being proposed is certainly not without precedent. We often take public money to improve private property. For instance, City of College Park, through the Main Street Board, issues facade grants. And where does that money go? It's public money that goes to private parties to improve private property. City of Noonan does the exact same thing with their facade grant program. Purpose of their grant is to provide matching grants to existing commercial buildings for preservation, restoration, and maintenance. City of Milledgeville does the same thing. The purpose of its program is to stimulate downtown revitalization, redevelopment, economic development, and tourism in Milledgeville. And so that's certainly not without precedent. Now, some would take the position that, well, that's commercial buildings in the downtown area. I think that would be a specious distinction to draw. Doesn't matter whether it's a commercial building or a residential building. But to address that concern, I look a little bit further, and the City of Savannah has a home repair assistance program where the City of Savannah awards grants. The home improvement grants offered by the city may range anywhere from $2,500 to $10,000, depending upon the location and size of the home. The grants would be available to eligible homeowners 60 years of age or older, and to homeowners who have been who have owned and occupied their homes for at least 10 years. And that's public money going specifically for private residents. City of Atlanta and Invest Atlanta have the Atlanta Heritage owner-occupied rehab program, which provides forgivable loans up to $30,000 to eligible homeowners to address needed repairs and safety hazards. It's designed to created to help legacy residents remain in their homes amid rising prices. The program gives priority to senior households, military veterans, disabled heads of households, and those who have been in their homes for more than 15 years. All of these programs around our great state stand for the proposition that you can award public money for both commercial improvements in the downtown area or for private residents. And the notion that the city doesn't receive a substantial benefit is not accurate, because the revitalization of these residential properties, the community redevelopment, the economic development, and increased property values, and hence increased tax base, all provide a substantial benefit to the city, which I believe would justify a program of this nature. Our other communities around the state of Georgia have had the exact same notion, and so therefore, on balance, I do not believe that this program would violate the gratuities clause of the Georgia Constitution.
Mr. Denmark, to that end, where would it stop? I mean, where would the line be?
That would be a matter of public policy for this council to determine, and I certainly admit that there's not an obvious bright line, but the bright line exists where the governing body elects to draw it.
All right. So do you have any understanding where the source of the funds come from for the Savannah program or the Atlanta program, for instance? Is it the general fund, or is it CDBG or anything? Do you know?
It doesn't specify, and I'm not altogether certain that it matters because it's public money nonetheless, and so the public money is what triggers the gratuities clause analysis, and in all cases, it's public money.
Well, CDBG has, I mean, there's some criteria around CDBG that, like, they're specifically designed for certain programs, such as home restoration and the like. I mean, from the federal government. So, I mean, I think there are some opportunities for distinction there. So, but thank you for your opinion.
Well,
Councilmember Carn?
I can tell you where it came from with our government. When I was county commissioner, we had a home improvement program, and it did come from the general fund from Fulton County. There are dozens of cities that have these type of home improvement initiatives that they do. Obviously, in the state of Georgia, there are literally hundreds of cities throughout Georgia that provide public funds for this type of stuff. You being an official with GMA would probably know all about that. In terms of benefit, public benefit, you know, if we have a major weather incident, like we had a couple of years ago in December, a lot of y'all may remember when the pipes froze and we went into the deep freeze. Well, when those pipes thawed out, a lot of city pipes were broken. In addition to a lot of city water pipes being broken, a lot of our residents' water pipes were broken. So after the city managed to make their repairs in the public right-of-way, we still couldn't turn water on to a lot of those residents because in their yard, their pipes were still broken and leaking, which meant if we had turned them back on, we would have lost thousands of gallons of water because the residential side wasn't able to be taken care of. With us helping to mitigate that with some funding for residents, that's going to prevent us from losing that water. That's going to make it where our residents can get turned back on in a timely manner, and they're covered and insured in the event we have another weather incident like that. So there's lots of benefit to it, obviously. And folks, I've said it before, city manager, we're doing some new things, and we're doing new things for this community, and it may be something we haven't done before in the past, but in the past, we didn't have the votes to get this passed. And once again, I am so grateful and hopeful, knock on wood, that we are able to pass this too. So.
Discussion when you finish. You finish? Okay. Discussion.
Councilmember McKenzie?
First of all, I want to thank you, Councilman Gay, for having the thought to even do this for our senior homesteaders. You have been championing before I got on this council. I admired your championing our senior citizens and wanting the tax exemptions. So I'm like Councilman Carn. Shucks, if this is something that falls in line, it's legal, it's going to help our senior citizens, I want it in mind too. So I want to allocate $5,000 of my community enhancement funds for my Ward 1 homesteaders as well. So I want to add, I'm not going to let Joe Carn upstage me on this. I would, and then if we see that we need more, we'll address it again in the new year. But I would like to, and I hear what you're saying, and City Attorney, the reason we have you is because we do rely on you when it comes to making decisions to give us the information to make sure that we are in the boundary of the law. You're a government attorney. A lot of attorneys that we have that have things to say are not government attorneys. So we do, I respect your decision and your information in terms of what you're sharing with us. And I definitely would like to add $5,000 onto the $40,000 that I'm hearing right now.
So why don't we just do it for the whole city?
That was going to be my.
I mean, like, why don't we just do it for every single homesteader in the city?
It's coming from our initiative.
I'm still, hold on. I mean, I understand, but like at this point, we have winners and losers, essentially. We have people who qualify and don't qualify. And I wonder how we say as a government that we are picking a certain group of people to receive a benefit and we're not picking another group of people to receive a benefit. Why?
I would suggest.
Can I say something?
Councilmember Arnold?
I asked Councilman Gay, and he specifically said this was for senior citizens, for 65 and older. And so if it's for senior citizens 65 and older, I would like for us to do it for all of the city of College Park. And if that means that money has to come out of my initiative as well, my initiatives, then I support that. But I would like to see it citywide.
Well,
Councilmember Gay?
Well, I appreciate all y'all's interest in the legislation. I appreciate the dialogue. It's quite healthy. And City Attorney, appreciate you taking the time to research the law. I really do appreciate it. What I will tell you is that whatever colleagues decide to do, that's fine with me. But what the spirit of the consideration was simply to provide seniors a relief. Giving seniors a quality of life is not unique. That's the focus. I don't know about citywide, but I will share with y'all that why this is important is because there is no consistency in how they're billed. There's some seniors who I've seen them be charged as high as 10, 12,000. I've seen some citizens been charged a few thousand. I've seen unlicensed people in their yard. And what this program does is, one, it also provides a list of providers that has been vetted by this company. So then we know the integrity of the work has been done too. As the Councilmember Corn said, which I hadn't even thought about that, our city water system can't even be made whole if individual homesteaders are busted. So, and the cost of this consideration is not that much. So I would like to amend my motion to
Council.
Hold on, let him finish, please. Go ahead. No, hold on. Let him go ahead and finish. Go ahead and amend your motion.
Well, Mayor, I also want to tell you that on last week, the clerk sent me a copy of the ordinance that you opposed at the beginning of every meeting, and it does say, and I'm just saying this since you're putting this out publicly, that the mayor should only preside, and council is fine with you deliberating. But you do need to know that is a courtesy and respect that we're providing you. But so now, having said that, Councilmember Cohen, you had something to say?
Hold on one second. Hold on, Councilmember Gay. What was your motion? Hold on, Councilmember. Hold on one moment.
Well, I think
Councilmember.
We had a little more discussion to go.
I understand. Councilmember Gay, what did you want to amend?
Man, I know how to talk. Okay, I'm grown. I'm 65. Councilmember Cohen.
I was trying to afford you the opportunity to do so.
I understand very well what you're often to offer me, but I'm going to hold my motions until I hear from my colleague.
All right, Councilmember Carn.
Thank you, Councilmember Gay. And Councilmember Gay was trying to afford me the opportunity for a little more discussion. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate both of you respecting my role as the presiding officer.
Thank you
so please
much.
Go right ahead.
I appreciate it. One of the things I was going to suggest is, I guess when you crafted this thing, and it was a great idea, you put a number on it because I'm assuming you wanted to have enough funds to help some of your lower income seniors that couldn't afford to maybe get this type of insurance on their own. So you had a number, I guess, that was first come, first served, those most in need of the insurance or whatever have you. Now, I don't pretend to know everything about your ward, but if there's some residents that can't afford it, that's great. You got some money in the pot for those that can't afford it. Now, if we're talking about covering every single senior in the city, then that's a whole nother proposition and maybe a whole nother pot of money perhaps. Now, I'm not against it, but I would say, you know, if there are, I know there are some residents that maybe do have this type of insurance or can't afford it. But either way we want to go, at the end of the day, I think it's a good thing that we want to do it. And if we want to cover every senior that owns a home in College Park, you know, so be it. If that's what we're looking at.
That's not what he's talking
Well,
that's what I thought I heard. So I didn't hear that. Is that?
No, I did say, I suggested that, being that if we were all going to add money in for each one of our awards, that we don't turn away any senior that's 65 and older that may need this, you know.
Y'all, my consideration wasn't income based. It was just 65 and older.
Right.
But
not based on income.
Right. But you had 30. But hear me out, and I get that. But you had $35,000 in your pot. That was what you had. That's going to be first come, first serve, and it's going to run out. So everybody won't get it necessarily. That was my point. So I'm assuming you were going to have it by a needs based or first come.
Well, I will tell you
serve.
that.
I didn't know how you were going to.
Well, I will tell you, we have approximately 1,200 homesteaders in my ward. They all not seniors.
Right.
So, well, my 1,200 ain't seniors. So it's only this thing is only $50 a year.
Right.
So I didn't think I needed more than 35 to cover all of my seniors. In fact, I thought I would have excess.
Well, I got
what you said. Right.
I think you will too. I have a suggestion, just a suggestion. Why don't we allocate, say, $100,000 for this citywide? That way, we can cover pretty much everybody that qualifies, that wants it, and we'll probably have some of that $100,000 left over.
Seniors only, right?
So 20. Are we saying 25,000 out of each one of our initiatives?
Well, we all have a cap. Now, I won't be anywhere near that number. I know, because I only have a certain amount of houses. But I would just, if we want to, that would in theory cover everybody, and I don't think you would.
Are you talking about out of our enhancement budget?
No, that would have to come out of a city manager. You'd have to have another pot for that.
Oh, you changing
Were you
everything
taking
now.
it? I was taking it out of enhancement. But now you're not.
Not if we do want to take it out the general fund.
Well, again, we've got unspent personnel funds. We've got we've got some flexibility without adding to this year's budget at all. So it wouldn't cost one additional dime.
So every senior homesteader 65 and older,
right?
They still have to apply.
But councillors, we have to be mindful. If I'm wrong, you correct me. Salary line, we can't just be using it to take care of.
We'd have to approve a budget transfer from that line in whatever amount.
But listen, I'm perfectly fine with taking out the enhancement budget.
Me too.
That's what it was for. I don't want to take any more hits to our general fund. So, Councilman Corn, I'm okay with it citywide. I just prefer that we take it out of our.
Right, I agree.
Our respective
Well,
budget.
there's a contingency line in enhancements, I think, at the bottom of $162,000. Just in
But we may not want to take it from there.
I necessarily didn't want to take it from there, but
I think everybody's okay with the enhancement budget.
Well, I was okay with taking the 5,000 out of mine for.
But not 25,000.
Right, I'm not going to do 25,000.
Not out of that. No. I have that.
Then we won't have 100,000.
But I'm fine with the 5. If you go ahead and 5, I'm fine with going there. And we can get the ball.
Y'all always could come back after.
That's what I said. Mine was I was going to start. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I was going to start with 5,000 and see where that takes us, and then if we have to add on from my fund.
All right.
But it would be. But I think what's important here is we need to note that Councilman Gay is saying 35,000, and that is for your ward. Exactly. And then whatever each of us put in is what goes to each of our wards. Unless if somebody else wants to put 25,000, that's up to them. But this would still be by ward.
I got 5.
40.
I got 5 on it.
45.
Tracy, what you doing?
I got 5 on it.
You got 5? Okay.
$47,000.
I got 5 on it.
Okay, we're 50.
So $50,000.
$50,000.
35 from Ward 4 and 5,000 from Wards 1, 2, and 3. Okay.
Okay, so now I guess I need to change the motion.
What's your amendment, sir?
That the motion reads the same, but the income amount changes to 50,000. So let's see.
So it's $50,000 from Ward 4's community enhancement
So
budget?
It'll be consideration of action on a request for the approval of $50,000 from Ward. A cumulative of $50,000 from Wards 1, 2, 3, and 4.
With 35,000 being Ward 4.
35,000 being Ward 4, 5,000 being Ward 1, 5,000 being Ward 2, 5,000 being Ward 3, respectively.
Yay. I like that.
Mama didn't waste some money, huh?
It feels good to do good.
Okay, Miss Clerk, you got it?
I'm going to revise it, but yes.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, that's unanimous.
Oh, jeez. Okay, city attorney report.
Madam Clerk, did my written report get into the agenda?
What written report?
All right, my staff sent a written city attorney's report that I wanted to include it in the agenda. All right,
No,
I take it it
sir.
didn't make-
I didn't know that she wanted to add it. I thought you just sent it to the clerk. I was unsure of the staff report. I never received one
All right,
until
well,
the end.
Mayor and Council, it's my intention to send you a written city attorney's report that should be included in every agenda going forward. And so we sent it this time, but it didn't make it to the agenda, so we'll get it for next time. Thank you.
And Mayor and Council, I'll send that when the meeting is over.
I can't, I'm sorry.
I said, Mayor and Council, I'll send that report to you all once the meeting is over.
Thank you.
And Winston, just for clarity, that's just to Mayor and Council, not in the public, correct?
The public won't hear it. I want to be in the agenda packet for everybody to see.
Oh, okay, no problem. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
Transparency.
All right, city manager report. Give me 1 second, city manager.
You have the 30 to 33 pages of all the event that took place this past 2 weeks.
Yes, I have the condensed version up. You want the full version?
No, I just have a just a snippet of it, which is the first one is when we all vote with the former First Lady. I commend my staff over there at the convention center, the police department, the fire department, for a job well done. And what some of us didn't realize is apart from that event, this past weekend, the police department were also busy,
Yes.
with the dignitaries that, came and stay in our hotels. So as I stated, College Park, we on the move. So Chief, both chief, thank you for job well done. And in the 2 days after the former First Lady came, 153,000 more people turned out to vote, and which in Fulton County, over 44,000, Gwinnett 40, Cobb County 38, Gwinnett 31, which when we look at back in 2020, what just happened this past week was way more than what happened in 2020, because it was like 13,000 votes. That was the difference, in the bet. With this, it's way beyond that. And also, Parks and Recreation, thank you all for, Halloween. There was a lot of people there, and everybody enjoyed themselves. Thank you.
All right, I'll be starting.
Dr. Adadir, I had a question about the restrooms. I've gotten some feedback about the restrooms shutting down for the winter.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain a little bit about your rationale there and when people might expect them to be open and what they should do in the interim if they need to use the restroom in parks?
Michelle Johnson.
So I'm not quite sure what I'm supposed to say because Public Works is over the park attendants and park rangers for the restrooms. So, but I can give you some background from at least the past.
Well, I mean, have we shut down I mean, this is your decision, right?
No, the bathrooms have all, don't you always shut down for the winter and
No.
winterize the bathrooms?
No. So in the past, when park attendants and the park rangers were under recreation, they're currently under Public Works. When the season ends in October, which is the summer season, from April through October, I think it was 15th after Ward 4, Phillips Park restroom would stay open, but Zup would be closed, and those were the only two restrooms that we had at the time. Now we've got Barrett added to that. It was a discussion to close the restrooms. I'm assuming, we know park attendants, nobody to clean them, nobody to clean up the park. So that would be something that I would, highly recommend is if they were open, they would need somebody to clean them and somebody to oversee the park. So I know when we looked into the budget amendment back in October last year, they looked at putting the parks under recreation. I did, present that, but it wasn't approved. So those park attendants and park rangers, park attendants currently calling them now, are under the Public Works, under Building and Grounds. So
Okay, so this is a Public Works issue, and Dr. Adediran, you're still over Public Works, correct?
Yes, I'm still over public work, but the issue here is, and I have the procurement, Ms. Miller working on it. We'll have, like the Porta John we had over there at
Porta potties.
Phillips Park, that the group will be responsible for cleaning it. And, and if it's vandalized, they'll be responsible. It won't be our, because as I stay there right now, it gets cold, and all we need is one line freezing, and then we have busted pipes everywhere.
So when can which restrooms are closed right now?
No, it's not.
Nothing's
Nothing's closed right now. Okay,
In a couple of weeks, it will be closed.
When are they closing? What's the scheduled date?
Once Ms. Miller can arrange with the Porta Party people, yeah, that's when it will be closed.
And how long will they be closed?
Till spring, sometime in March, when weather warms back up.
Okay. So this has been an issue that, we haven't really dealt with this before. And so I know that there was some concern in the community about it, especially considering at least the Barrett Park restrooms were open relatively recently. So who's going to be in charge of making sure that the porta potties are cleaned?
The contractor that we contract with, they'll be responsible for making sure it's clean. They have crews that go around to clean it up.
And so in regard to where in the budget, where is that coming from? Is this budgeted for?
I'll find, I'll work with my finance director and we'll find. It's not like it's a whole lot of money. No, it's not.
Any idea how much it will cost?
No, right now until she can contact the contractors and they give us some ideas to how much it will cost. I don't have any cost, not yet.
Okay.
City Manager.
I have something I want to say on that too.
A couple of things, to add a little context to this. Actually, we have dealt with this before. Some stuff predates some folks up here.
Okay.
In terms of the restrooms, it's been a contentious issue. When we put in Phillips Park restrooms, I remember Chuck was pretty shocked at the price of $84,000
at that time,
and he couldn't believe it. He was like, "That's the small price of a small house," and essentially, Zup's restrooms, they were closed during the winter months. We were kind of agonizing over opening Phillips or not. In addition to the issues of pipes freezing,
yes,
there were issues of vandalism, which obviously have occurred in all the
happening
parks.
at Barrett Park now.
But there was a third issue that was a big concern and a contributing factor to kind of the decisions that we came up with up here. It was also the issue of homelessness, which is a big issue in every city and something that a lot of cities sweep under the rug. we're kind of torn with a lot of those situations in terms of exactly what we're going to do. Now, is there a huge demand for restrooms being open during the dead of winter? I don't know. I guess, Michelle, you've been here longer than Parks and Rec to kind of determine if there's a big pent-up demand for that or not. Is porta potties the answer? Maybe so. I guess at some point we need to, maybe in the next meeting, this is why we need a December 16th meeting as well. I'm going to talk about that in my comments, to make sure we make the decisions on what we got to do in the direction we need to go in, which is going to be best for all of our residents. I don't like the idea of having one set of restrooms closed and one set of restrooms open, but we need to come to a consensus on this body in terms of what the preferences of the residents are, because we represent the residents. I talk to the residents and we want to hear from our residents. So I think we need to probably, let's take a look at it and figure out what's the best mix. We need Public Works in on that conversation as well, I would imagine. So let's be really careful about it. The vandalism kind of surprised me at the new part, but Councilmember Clay, at first he was totally against those restrooms. Then he heard from his residents, and he capitulated and went with the residents, what the people wanted, which is usually the best thing to do. But he was worried about vandalism going on if we did it. And I said, well, it's happened in the other parks. It's probably going to happen in that park restroom as well. So, some of the things you just, this is cost of doing business. So if we do the porta potties or if we open them or whatever have you, I think we probably need to put it on an agenda. Everybody's got a couple of meetings before the end of the year, probably community meetings. Maybe you get some feedback from your folks and see what they think, So I think we maybe don't need to make a rash decision on it. Maybe we need to just put a little thought to it and see what we come up with. But that's just my 2 cents.
Okay, I want to just chime in since we are talking about the restrooms in my ward. Of course, I inherited this project. It wasn't completed at the time when I was elected and sworn in, but we did recently. And there was a lot of chatter in the community because it was an expensive restroom. And I want to say that one more time. It was an expensive restroom. And because it is a smart, safe restroom, vandalizing this type of facility cost us more in the long run in terms of repairs. Some things are still under warranty. Is that correct, Mr. Hicks? Because we have this particular. Okay.
No.
I know there was one thing that somebody came out and fixed one time, and I think. But here's the thing. Here's the situation, everybody. When we start talking about cost, let's look at this. I'm a financial person. You look at the cost to keep these restrooms open from now until the spring. We don't have park attendants. Okay, so we would have to pay park attendants to be at those restrooms while the restrooms are supposed to be open 7 days a week. That's a cost. But then also what's been going on now, say we don't pay the extra, the attendants. Let's say that we just let them be open. And then we continue to have them vandalized over and over and over again. What about the cost associated with that? So when I spoke with the city manager about this, he had concerns about pipes and the winterizing of the restroom facility, which also would cost us. And we, for those of you that are aware of this project, we did have some problems initially with the water, the system. I think the pipes. Michelle, you could probably tell me more in terms of how when that was going up. So we didn't
have any sewer lines.
Sewer lines, yeah. Right? So we had, so there were costs that. So you don't want to have those lines freeze up. It's just a lot of maintenance, and there's still some things that we need to. I will say, as a council member, I don't feel very positive about keeping the restrooms open until we come up with a better strategy for how to maintain them, how to, and again, keeping them clean, and also really getting to the bottom of, like I said earlier to the chief of police, if you have a camera system, you need to have somebody monitoring the camera system. If you have a Smart Save restroom, you need to have somebody monitoring, letting people in the restroom. At this point in time, the only people that can get in those restrooms are people that have codes. And if you don't have a code, that's why we're having more vandalism. Because when a person gets in there, a lot of times they're pissed off because somebody may have let them in. And we had guys that were doing the pickleball and the tennis court resurfacing. And they were having issues with being able to get in to the restrooms. Even we had attendants. So I have a lot of concerns about how we're going to move forward with these restrooms. I'd like for us to take this time over the next few months and begin to work on a plan for how we want to keep these restrooms maintained. And in terms of financing, if you keep them open, it's going to cost you a lot more than for us to get some porta potties, pay somebody a contract, because that's what we were doing before we had those restrooms. We had those porta potties. I think those porta potties were almost in there for a good year or more. I remember, we didn't even close up the porta potties until after the restroom facility was open for a few weeks, maybe almost up to a month. So it is a neighborhood park. It is very nice to have the restrooms. We've made it for all these years without having the fancy restroom. And my thing is, I don't want to spend any more taxpayer dollars on maintaining a restroom that we could find a better strategy for the next few months.
And ma'am, to add, every locality I've worked in, except for city of Miami, where it's warm year round, even during the winter, every city on the East Coast that I've worked, during the winter months, they winterize the lines, put antifreeze in there so the lines does not freeze, and always have a pour in. And that's when I first came here last year, I told you the same thing, and that's what it will cost more. And right now we don't even have people to clean it up. Councilman Clay sent me pictures
every week.
Okay, of we don't have the people to clean it up.
That's right.
But if we go the other way, the contractors will clean. They will make sure it's cleaned every day, and we don't have to worry about the lines freezing and busting and costing us money to try to fix it.
So what if we get contractors to clean the restrooms that we have instead of getting porta potties?
But what about when it freezes? Then what do?
I think that instead of approaching a freeze, we typically can look at freezing late December through January, early February. And I understand, you've worked in what, Virginia?
Yeah, yes, I walk in. Yeah,
It's a little farther north from here, and then Miami. So I understand in Miami why they're not winterizing, and we're sort of in between. But I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Am I interrupting? Okay. All right. So, do you want to finish your conversation?
I was still speaking.
This was.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Mayor, this was legislative discussion, actually, so that's just us, actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
well, all right
you
then.
don't have heat. You don't have no heat in those restrooms.
I understand,
neither.
sir. I think, like, from a geographic standpoint, I understand why Virginia would winterize. But what about finding someone to contract to clean the restrooms that we have if we don't have sufficient staff to do that? Why can't we?
I can respond to
that. It gets cold. I was here in Georgia this past winter, and it got cold, 30-something degrees. Freezing point for water is 32 degrees.
I'm aware that freezing water is 32 degrees. I'm asking why we can't contract, because I heard two separate issues.
The line will freeze, then what?
Why are you raising your voice to me, sir?
I'm not raising my voice. I said the line will freeze, then what?
I'm talking about two separate issues. It sounds like we don't have sufficient staff to clean the facilities. Correct?
That's just one issue.
It's just one issue.
I made a suggestion last year for us to win. I made that suggestion last year to winterize the bathrooms and get a photo jump last year.
I understand. I'm talking about two separate issues because it sounds like we've got an issue with the cleanliness of the restrooms, correct?
That's just some minor, though. I mean, it still get clean.
So I'm hearing that we have issues with the cleanliness of the restrooms. Can we get a contracted company to clean the restrooms if we have insufficient staff to do so?
I would like to respond to that on behalf of the city manager. City manager, will you yield to me for me to respond to that?
What? Like I'm just asking the question. Can we get?
I was the one that started that conversation about that piece, so I would like to respond to that, Mayor Motley Broom.
I'm asking the city manager though because he runs the day-to-day operations.
Yes, but I would like to respond to that
but
question.
I'm asking, Matt, with all due respect, Councilmember, I'm asking the city manager because this is his purview. So,
city manager,
I'm just asking the question. I'm just asking the question. Can we get?
Thank you.
City manager is
yielding
City manager
to me.
Adediran. I'm asking you a question. Can we get someone to contract to clean the restrooms? That's the only question.
And then I will respond.
It's way beyond just contracting somebody to clean. We're talking about the lines freezing, and then you having water busting everywhere, your sewer line freezing, and you have stuff everywhere, and then EPA coming here. Then you will be the one pointing fingers at me. Why?
No,
did you do
you're
something?
pointing fingers at me, and I would ask that you not do that. I would ask that you not do that. I'm not talking about the freezing lines. Sir, I'm asking my questions, and I would, sir,
City
have to
do this every meeting.
We're discussing legislative matters, are we not?
No,
Yes,
this is the city manager's report, and I can question him in the report. And so I'm asking about two separate things.
It's not my report, though. No, that's not part of my.
This is your report, sir. You've talked during your report.
You asked the question. That's not in my report. My report was
your report
the
includes
event about the voting and the Halloween, and that was it. And you asked the question about the bathrooms and what have you.
Yeah.
That's why I call her up. It wasn't in my report. No,
sir. I've read your report. There are elements of all departments, and so I'm asking about these issues because people have raised them with me. And so I'm still asking the same. Please stop interrupting me. I just want to ask the question: can we get contract to get the bathrooms cleaned through another company? I'm freezing aside. I'm just asking about the cleanliness issue. Is that possible?
Ma'am, since I run the day-to-day operation of the city and I know what's best for the city, that's what I will do. I will shut it down, we winterize it, and then get a quarter party there. And case closed.
Mr. City Manager, I am asking a yes or no question.
I agree.
I'm asking a yes or no question. Can we contract with a private company to clean the restrooms? That's all I'm asking. It's a yes or no question.
I asked to respond to that question, Mayor Motley Broom, but you're not giving me the opportunity.
I'm asking the city manager.
He's yielded to me, and he said to let me answer the question. So, would you
but
please
I'm
allow
asking
me
the
to
city
answer?
manager because it is his purview.
But
I'm asking a yes or no question.
I have a response to that question because you're going to keep asking him, and we're going to go through this over and over and over again, and we are wasting time now.
I know. If he could just answer the question,
So
Dr.
I will give
Adediran.
the answer. The answer to the question is simply that yes, we could pay a contractor to come and clean, but we need more than cleaning. The issue is not just keeping the restrooms clean. The issue is monitoring the restrooms as well. The only people that can get in the restrooms now are people that have QR codes or some type of a code. So finding someone to clean the restrooms does not address the issue of certain people being able to get in, certain people not being able to get in. And then also to pay a company, it's not a financial issue per se alone. We could even have possibly attendance throughout the year, but that is even more costly. And you still are not addressing all of the issues. So the answer to the question is, first and foremost, I believe what I heard the city manager say, first and foremost, we are concerned about the facility itself. And we want to make sure that we don't have pipes bursting. It's an expensive facility for us to have to deal with all of these issues that can be avoided. Shutting it down takes care of that. At the end of the day, we want to provide our citizens with a restroom, which can be a porta potty. It is the least expensive route to go, and it addresses all of the issues.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. I still have questions about this because since we don't know the price of the porta potties and we don't know where that money is coming from, how do we know what the least expensive option is? I think we need an opportunity to, as Councilmember Carn said, discuss this a little bit more. And in the meantime, provide facilities to our residents and make sure that their needs are being met, because I've certainly gotten quite a bit of feedback about this whole situation, and folks are not happy. And I certainly understand. I'm sorry. Did you want to say something?
Oh, I will, but I'll let you finish first. I was talking to Councilman Carn.
Okay. I think that we could do a much better job of communicating this to our residents, and just explaining to them the logic behind it, because there are folks who are just really confused about this, and I'm confused about where this money is coming from, and also, I mean, this in terms of the Barrett Park restroom and Zupp Park, because I know that we've had issues at Zupp Park as well. I'd like to see a plan about how we tackle this. And Dr. Adediran?
Yes, ma'am.
I would like to see a plan about how we tackle this, about what the plan is to address some of the issues that we're dealing with. We can't just shut it down and then open it up again, because and then to have the same issues. Our restrooms, I do think, people are in those parks every day, whether it's cold, whether it's hot. Obviously, we see more people in the summer in our parks, but people use them year round. So if we're going to provide a service, then we need to think about how we approach finding that. So, Councilmember Carn?
Michelle, a couple of questions. You've been here with Parks and Rec for a minute. I mean, you weren't the director of the department, but you've seen kind of some of the ins and outs. We generally shut down the restrooms in the wintertime, is that right?
So when I looked back today at the budget for parks, because I think some of the issue that happened around COVID was a parks budget disappeared between going back and forth with parks. But yes.
What I'm talking about is College Park, BC, which means College Park before COVID.
Yeah, okay. So
generally, we shut down the restrooms in the wintertime. Did we ever get significant issues and significant complaints about that?
Well, we didn't do it equally. So Phillips Park stayed open, Zupp closed. So that's what was done because it was.
Well, and that was Chuck's selection.
I think that was before me. I just know that it was open.
That was a preference. Now we each have these parks. We represent the residents in the park. And my thing, whatever Councilwoman McKenzie wants to do in her park is fine with me. Councilmember Gay and myself, we kind of handle the restrooms sitting in between both of our wards at Phillips Park. I'm inclined to if we do the shutdown and an option for porta potties, but there's not a whole lot of demand, necessarily either way. I think a lot of residents at Phillips Park, if you put a porta potty out there in the winter time, they probably would not want to use it anyhow. But that's just my opinion. But in terms of the Ward 1 part, that should be up to the Ward 1 council members.
And I think you're addressing exactly how it was handled at that time.
I'm fine either way. Whatever Ward 1 wants to do is fine with me.
Yes, and that is from after discussing this matter with the city manager, which he did discuss. We have been again weekly be receiving reports of vandalism, pictures because of people being frustrated, and
And I
that
think-
is basically because we don't have the attendance and we don't have the restroom being monitored. So we've got to, that's first and foremost.
Yeah, and Dr. Emanuel and I talked at length when we were working on the budget modification of what the needs would be. And again, this is not my purview, but the recommendation was to have year-round park attendance and somebody to patrol all the parks so that if you do, my livelihood's been children. I mean, you go to the park, that was the point of the restrooms, was to be available for them to be used, but you also want clean, and you want, there was some issues with vandalism along with people living if you keep them open.
Yeah.
So, we want to make sure they're safe. So I know that's a discussion that we'll have, I'm sure, moving forward on what needs to be done, but it's...
Yeah, we've definitely got to sit down and address it.
But the
I've worked in areas where homeless people live in that bathroom, and you can't even go in there and use it. They'll threaten you.
Yeah, during
when it's
COVID, we had...
Not to mention all the squatter laws. They may try to claim that's their domicile.
I mean, even when we took the tall chief, didn't we see people cooking outside when we took?
Oh, yes, they were.
The same barrack.
After the park was closed, there were people in there cooking in the dark at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And they said they were homeless.
All right.
That's right. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Moving along to council reports, just be mindful not to talk over each other. Council, I know it's a little hard, just so she can hear correctly. Sorry.
The mayor goes first, I guess.
Oh, yes. Madam Mayor?
Thanks. So, wanted to thank the police department and all of our community partners for an amazing 2024 trunk or treat. So great. It was just so much fun. And it is incredible, the turnout from the community and how much everyone supports the event, and especially want to thank our community police officers for all of the connections that they make. We had so many departments there, from the marshals, the sheriffs, South Fulton, East Point, Union City. I know I'm probably forgetting someone. We had so many community organizations. It takes a village for this event to make it as successful as it is. I know I did not make it into the haunted house, but I know there were some screams. Want to thank a certain unnamed, what is that thing? I'm forgetting it. I'm forgetting it. The chainsaw, that's right. An unnamed chainsaw wielder who usually fires for us.
Sal Gangley.
I know. I wasn't thinking of his name. I knew who he was. Yes. I was just could not remember what a chainsaw was. But thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Anyway, so it was just such a great event, and the fun continued for Halloween on Rugby. I think I handed out probably, oh gosh. It was several thousand pieces of candy, lots and lots of gummy bears. But we had such an amazing night because all these families showed up, all these kids showed up, and there was nothing but fun. Everyone was just out having a great time. And thanks again to the police department for making sure that everyone was safe during that event. Thanks to the Women's Club for their annual Halloweeny event. I think they sold out of hot dogs pretty soon. I was on my feet handing out candy for about 4 hours. Want to thank the Tau Epsilon Omega chapter, the Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, for inviting me to the Cluster 5 regional meeting last weekend. They were having some important conversations, but they wanted some greetings on behalf of the city of College Park, and I was certainly happy to give them, because what the Tau Epsilon Omega chapter does for our city knows no bounds. Whether you're looking at a little free library, they were there for us at Trunk or Treat. Every single time we ask for their assistance, they are here helping us build the community that we deserve. So thank you to the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated for all that you do in our community every single day. And it was such a pleasure to address the entire regional meeting last Saturday. Also want to talk a little bit about some time on the road. As first vice president of the Georgia Municipal Association, I've had the opportunity, last week we were in Adairsville and Reynolds at the district meetings talking about important aspects of policy that has happened, including House Bill 581. For those of you who are voting tomorrow, it will be the first constitutional amendment on your ballot, and it will determine how whether or not there is a floating homestead exemption for property owners across the state. That's widely expected to pass. But municipalities and other local governments have the opportunity to opt out of that. And so those discussions are happening across Georgia. And so we are bringing that information to each district within the GMA districts. And so I was at District 1 in Adairsville, District 8 in Reynolds, and we also discussed the PTSD insurance that that goes into effect on January 1st for all first responders. And that is a buy-in program for the entirety of the state for folks who are for local municipalities. And GMA has purchased coverage for the all 536 cities, and each city has to respond to GMA to make sure that they are paying their $150 per first responder to cover that PTSD insurance. I think we still need to do that based upon the feedback that they gave me at the meeting. So hopefully we can move forward on that aspect of making sure that our first responders are covered and we are in compliance by January 1st. And tomorrow is Election Day. Got my little vote button. Want to make sure, if you have not voted, you have to vote at your precinct tomorrow. You can go to mvp.sos.ga.gov to find your precinct. That is mvp.sos.ga.gov. And you can vote from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you are in line by 7 p.m., no matter what, you can still vote. Do not get out of line. If you were there, you can vote. And this is such a critical election for so many reasons. Your voice needs to be heard. We all know, we've seen the commercials, we've gotten all the mailers and everything. Georgia is a pivotal state, so making sure that you are getting your voice heard and standing up for what you believe in and making sure that your vote is counted is absolutely critical. My husband and I did it last week. It was an easy breezy process. I want to thank our recreation department for opening their doors to the Conley Recreation Center. I know that we got a lot of feedback about how smooth that process was, and it made it close by for folks. And I know we got a ton of people coming in there at a steady pace to make sure that they voted early, and hopefully we won't all have to stay up till 4 a.m. or anything with those results coming in. But certainly looking forward to getting through that as well. I think that's all I've got. Councilmember McKenzie?
Yes, in an effort to stick to the decision that we all made to have 5-minute remarks, I have been preparing video remarks for our end of meeting. Thank you, Queenie.
This
This is Councilwoman Jamel McKenzie from Ward 1 with my November 4th report. On Saturday, November 2nd, we had our final meeting for Ward 1 for the year. During this time, Ms. Lindell Miller from Purchasing came and shared with us, as well as Dr. Lethea Williams from the Empowerment Zone shared about the STEAM program that we have going on for our youth. In addition, I'm excited because we will be opening up computer labs at both the Brady and Comley Recreation Centers. This is an amazing opportunity for the persons in our city who don't have access to computers to be able to use the computers at the recreation centers, and we're looking forward to that. The Flint River Preserve, we had gotten reports that there were vagrants and littering and trash, and I want to thank our public works staff and our public safety staff for getting that cleaned up this past November 1st. Thank you so much. Community enhancements. Many of you may be aware that I put $994,000 into our 2024-25 budget so that we could be able to address some concerns for our communities and make you a priority. We have begun this process, and I'm really excited. Wanted you all just to get a chance to see how those funds are being spent and where they're coming from. Barrett Park. Our restrooms will be closed at Barrett Park until the end of winter, but we will have porta potties on site. Brady Trail improvements. We finished the first of 3 phases: citizen involvement, planning, and getting our staff on board for the Brady Trail upgrades. The plan is to have the trail cleaned up during the month of November and then to begin to install lighting in December. There's lots planned for 2024-25. Our City Hall lawn now has its own identity. I want to thank those of you that participated in the survey to name the lawn. Our new name is College Park Memorial Commons. Main Street has been getting a cleanup. I want to thank our public works staff again for that cleaning. Here are some pictures to show you before and after for some of the sidewalk cleaning. We want to keep College Park beautiful, which means we've got to keep College Park clean. On October 26th, we walked with Ms. Pam Greer to bring awareness to breast cancer. Pam is a 19-year survivor of cancer. 2.3 million persons are dealing with cancer every single year, and we wanted to honor them. Here's a little information in terms of some of the projects that we have completed and that we are still working on. We have completed one-way streets on John Calvin and Hempel. We also have created handicap parking spaces on Rugby and Columbia off of Main Street. And then in Reed Street, we have installed some no parking signs for illegal parking that has been occurring on private property. Some projects that are currently underway are removing trees on Walker and Lyle, resurfacing the street on John Calvin, and then we also want to do a concrete pad for our bus stops on Washington Road. We've got a few more things that are going on, and then we also have some projects that you have asked for, such as speed bumps on piers, 4-way stops. If you have any other areas that you'd like to see or you have concerns, please feel free to reach out and let me know. Ward 1 business updates. We've had quite a few new businesses come into our ward over the past few weeks. We have a new grocery store called Shore Save Market, and they've got a great barbecue spot called Dickie's inside. Check it out. Then we have C'est La Vie, which is a bakery that just opened up at 3727 Main Street, and it is a must. We've got our own Starbucks. Liquefied Juice Bar opened up in October as well. They have their grand opening and ribbon cutting, and we were so happy to share with them. This is a family-owned business. And yesterday, our very own Miss Rashawn Dorsey, Permission to Fly, had an arts workshop and an empowerment concert. It was awesome and involved several of our local youth. Thank you, and a shout out to Miss Rowe. Tomorrow is Election Day. Please make sure to vote. Your vote counts. And finally, I want to just remind you that you still have till November 21st to complete
complete our curbside recycling survey, which will help to let us know what you want in terms of curbside recycling in our city. This is Councilwoman Jamel McKenzie serving you, creating a city that thrives and not just survives. Have a wonderful rest of your week, College Park and Ward 1.
Councilmember
All right, great presentation. And I gotta step up my video game. City Manager, I want to thank you for all the hard work. It's been a tough year, but that year's not over yet, and we have a lot of work to do. I do believe we are in serious need of a December 16th meeting. City Manager, I mean, right now, I need all hands on deck through the holidays, and that includes us. We have a list of community enhancements. I've got a laundry list of other things that I need to see and get done and get in the pipelines now. I've got residents who need crosswalks right now, and I don't want to wait until an accident happens. Chief, we've had how many deaths on these crosswalks? Too many. Is that right? Far too many with no crosswalks. I don't want a week to go by where I can't get this stuff on the agenda and get some of this stuff through the pipeline. This is stuff that people are in need of. I think we made some good progress tonight, and I want the public to understand that we are being proactive and listening to the concerns of the residents. Tonight, we doubled the number of code enforcement officers. We doubled it. We significantly increased sanitation to get some help in that incremental litter areas, in those areas that are missed, in those high traffic areas. This is important stuff in terms of attracting businesses. This is important stuff in terms of creating a better quality of life citywide. This is important stuff that we passed in terms of eliminating any blight in this community. So I want to thank you all for the support, and we're doing this together as a team, and we are getting it done. Also on the 16th, I want to do a full year-end wrap-up. This has been one dynamic year. But if you're listening to the news media, you might think otherwise. Well, we know better. And we know the things that we've accomplished in the first and the tremendous accomplishments that we have made and the strides we've made this year. Only one problem. City Manager, the residents may not know about it. They all don't come to this council meeting. They all don't watch on video. So we want to have something for the record that shows what we got accomplished and what we got done here. And we're talking about good things in this community. And that's what we're going to keep talking about. The good things that we're getting done in this community. No city is perfect, but we're working and striving towards perfection. There are things that we have to finish, though. We committed to a lot of stuff this year. We committed to the renaming of the 6 West Streets for our historic black colleges and universities, as well as for some of our legacy families who lived within the 6 West footprint. I want to wrap that up, and I want to make sure we get that completed and we deliver on those promises. We committed to depositing 25% of our city funds into an African-American owned financial institution. We committed to that not 1 year, but 2 consecutive years. And for some reason, it was shot down, slowed down, and stopped one way or another. Well, I'm not going to let another year go by where that gets stopped and slowed down for a 3rd year. We want to deliver on that commitment. City Manager, at this point, we do have an institution that is capable of accepting the funds, is interested in accepting the funds, and our primary city depository, which is Truist Bank, said themselves that they support this initiative. Not that we need their approval, but even they signed off on it and said it would be a great idea. So we got some work to finish things out here. You know, when you come close to the finish line, folks, you don't slow down. When you're near the finish line, you speed up. And that's what I intend on doing. We got a lot of work to finish out and to get done here. I do want us to add a second council meeting on the December 16th. I'm going to make that in a motion. We got some finishing up and we still got some work to do. And I want to make sure the public knows we're wrapping this year up in record style. And this is going to be a banner year of us getting a lot of things accomplished. And we want to make sure that the public in Metro Atlanta, our state officials, our county officials know all of the good things that we've done. I've said it many, many, many times up here. If you don't toot your own horn, folks, I guarantee you, no other city is going to toot it for you. So we have to let our community know what we're getting done up here and the things that we're accomplishing in our initiatives that no other cities have. But we got to let people know and talk about that. So I appreciate all of the hard work, staff. I appreciate y'all bearing with us. But I'm not going to let up, not for half a second, because when I get those calls, I'm going to respond. And there are a lot of things that we have to get done, and we have to try some new things. Had a great Halloween. I heard Trunk or Treat was really nice. I didn't make it for Trunk or Treat, but I had 2 fall festivals in my community, and they were very successful. We had some great kids and parents to come out and enjoy themselves. Chief Rogers, I want to thank you for you and your team coming out and helping us out at the events. They were wonderful events. Public Works did a great job in helping getting the park together after the storms and the hurricanes and the flooding and everything else to make sure that the residents enjoyed themselves. So we're attempting to make sure that we cover as many bases as possible. You know, we're doing some big thinking in this city this year. And I think College Park needed some big thinkers on board. And I'm glad we got 2 new additional big thinkers on board to help with some of that. Because this council is ready to think big. And if you think this year was very productive, and this year we got a lot accomplished, wait until 2025. We are just getting warmed up. Again, special thank you to staff. One last thing, City Manager, I wanted to, at the next meeting or at the first December meeting, do a special recognition and proclamation for an individual that I think has gone overlooked over the last near 20 years of dedicated service in this city. We got some great employees, we got great department heads, but our city attorney is Mr. Winston Denmark, and I can remember when he came on board with us. He came on board due to some serious generational changes in governance, and he hit the ground running. But it occurred to me that we have never actually properly recognized him or thanked him for the many years of service that he has given us. And he's taken us a pretty long way and gotten us out of a lot of potential litigation situations that we would have probably lost our way on had it not been for some good counsel. So, you know, we have to thank the folks that are working with us, that are sticking with us. And he's bared with us. He's been fussed at and cussed at and hollered at and everything else. And I'm often say to myself, I'm surprised he just hadn't threw his hands up at some point and said, "The heck with this," because we probably can be a pretty challenging city to deal with. I imagine your wife would agree. But I wanted to recognize the work and the dedication that you've done with us, and we wanted to thank you in a special way. Now we thank you with a paycheck, but I think a lot of times recognition is very important. Some staff members, we consider all staff members family. But our city attorney, he's not just a counselor and advisor. He is a part of this city's family, and we want to recognize him as such. And I'd like to make sure we put together a proper proclamation for him and bring your family out. And I don't know if any of the other cities have done this for you, but I know what you've done for us. So I can only speak to that. So we want to definitely recognize someone that I think has gone overlooked. You know, he's given us advice, and sometimes I didn't like the advice.
Right.
But you know what? He's the attorney, and he has the expertise, and he's kept us afloat thus far, and we've been in pretty good shape in terms of litigation over the last 20 years. And if we were to thank someone for keeping us in good shape legally, I'd have to point to that man right there. To being most directly responsible, him and his team. So anyway, I want to make sure we put that out there. Folks, we're making good progress, and we will keep the progress going in this city. So that's all I got today. Tomorrow is election day. As the mayor so eloquently said, folks, you got to vote. You're already paying for that vote. If you collect a paycheck or get a check of any kind, retirement, paycheck, those taxes come out of that check, generally before you even see it. And it goes to folks like us that decide on how to spend your money. So tomorrow, do not let someone take your tax dollars and spend it on your behalf. Because when you don't vote, that's exactly what you do. You want to get your money's worth and make sure your money is spent in the direction you want it spent. So we want to encourage everybody to vote because you already paid for the vote. So you might as well use it. And you don't have to like politics or politicians. You're going to keep paying for that vote. So don't leave your money on the table for someone else to spend and spend in their neighborhoods. Because when you don't vote in your neighborhood, that money goes out of your neighborhood into a neighborhood that votes. So we want to keep that in mind, whether whatever side of the aisle you're on. So that's all I got. And thank you.
Councilmember Arnold?
Thank you. So I too missed out on the trunk or treat this year. I did participate last year, but this year I had to travel again for work. And but I was able to participate in some activities shortly thereafter. Over the past 2 weeks, I participated in events that showcased and highlighted all of the amazing work and the things that are happening in our great city. And so after traveling back on the evening of the 26th, I attended the 9th annual Liberian Economic Development Initiative Gala, where I welcomed attendees to our great city. It was a remarkable event that not only recognized 5 community trailblazers, but it also highlighted the importance of educational facilities. And in this particular case, it was a library with a technology center and to provide academic extension services within the community. And I want to thank Rufus and Joan DeCourty for their vision and hard work, and I'm looking forward to working with them in the near future. On the 27th, I joined the illustrious staff, talented students, fabulous judges, and amazing founder of the Style Mob University in their homecoming and hair talent pageant, where they crowned the King and Queen of Beauty. SMU is our official university in the city, and it literally attracts students from around the world who come to learn how to be successful in the beauty industry. As a matter of fact, I met a student or a prospective student that was in from Canada who is looking to attend the school. Miss Tiffany Nicole has created an HBCU-like educational opportunity for students, offering financial aid, scholarships, student housing, a sorority, and includes rigorous academic programs that prepare students to successfully pass the state exam. It is an absolutely amazing program. If you haven't been by the university, I encourage you to go by just to see the amazing work and meet some of the students. On the 29th, we hosted the When We All Vote rally here in the city. And as Dr. Adediran mentioned earlier, the staff did an amazing job. I think that what really warmed my heart was to see the amount of young people that were there, who were energized, they were engaged, they were encouraged, they were dancing. It was a whole party. And I think some of us got caught on video partying with them. But it was good to see young people engaged in encouraging others to get out the vote. And the staff did an excellent job, and I agree with the city manager's statements earlier that they did a wonderful job. And if I may take a personal moment of privilege here, on the 31st, I had the opportunity to travel to Macon, Georgia, to see my youngest son cross the burning sands into the Iota Eta chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha at Mercer University. So congratulations to him and his 15 line brothers of the Black and Gold. And I see another one in the bag. So it has been an amazing week to watch our young people, those who are going to fill our shoes one day. They're going to step up, and to just watch them be encouraged about voting, get engaged with their community, continue their education, and I'm sure we all are encouraged and support that continual engagement. In the coming weeks, I'm looking forward to planning a few more community events that will close out the year, to implementing a citywide 5 in 25 initiative that has been recommended to us by Mr. Bill Crane, and scheduling a governing body retreat for us to focus on our comprehensive initiatives for the city in 25. So those are my closing remarks, and I thank you.
Thank you very much.
I had one last comment. City Manager, I do want to make a motion for a December 16th meeting. I think it's something that we do need, so I make that motion at this time.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? What's happening at the December 16th meeting? I mean, that we can't handle at the first meeting.
This is a city council meeting that I think we're in need of. We missed all of July, and I, for one, have a list of items I want to see to get going through the pipeline. And I think we want to close this year out on a very positive note, with a very positive meeting and productive meeting.
Why can't we do that at the first meeting in December?
That's my motion.
Why can't we do it at the first meeting in December?
That is my motion.
I understand, but I'm just trying to get some clarity for not only myself, but I mean we've got staff that this impacts, and so if we have an opportunity to get things done at the first meeting, why? I mean, if you've got the list, and I understand, and I heard you say that you have a list of things that you want to get done. Why don't we get them done at the first meeting?
Well, we got a lot of things we're going to get done at the first meeting, but we also have a lot of things we're going to get done on the 16th. And yes, this impacts staff, but this impacts my residents first, and I want to make sure I'm getting the things done that I said I was going to deliver.
Like
and
what?
Again, Mayor, I made my motion.
I understand. I'm asking. I'm trying to get clarity.
Mayor, if you don't understand, I don't know what to tell you, but I made a motion, and I think we have a second.
Well, I understand that, and I'm trying to get clarity over what specifically we have to handle on December 16th that we can't handle at the first meeting.
It'll all be on the agenda, I guess.
Can you give us some examples so the public has an understanding?
I already did.
What are they?
I already did, Mayor. If you didn't hear my comments, I don't know what to tell you.
Could you read it back from the record?
I have a motion on the floor.
I know, I'm trying to get clarity. If it's in the record and you don't want to share it with me, that's fine.
City Attorney, I made a motion, and I believe there was a second.
And I understand that, and we're in the discussion section. I'm asking to read back.
We are in the
Councilmember?
legislative portion of this.
Councilmember, if you just answer my question, what are we handling on the 16th?
Every way I could.
Okay.
I've answered your question. I don't know what else to tell you.
Specifically,
Mayor,
what
I've
issues-
answered your question.
I'm going to ask a different question. So, what issues are we going to be discussing on the 1st that we cannot, that have to be, what issues are we discussing on the 1st?
Mayor, we're discussing city business that needs to be discussed.
All right. Well, I guess that's good enough for the people who at home. We're discussing city business, and we're going to discuss more city business on December 16th. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Any abstentions?
I'm abstaining. I cannot guarantee that I will be here on the 16th.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold.
But I don't want to hold it up if there's work to be done.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
So that passes with Council Members Karn and McKenzie in favor and Councilmember Arnold abstaining. Any further business? Oh, and I want to make sure that I want to congratulate the Reverend Dr. Eric Gurley and First Lady Nadine Gurley of Mount Calvary Baptist Church on their 4-year pastoral anniversary. It was a great event, and appreciate the Atlanta Regional Commission as well for their State of the Region last week. Always informative and an amazing event to attend. So, if we don't have any further business.
Yes, ma'am.
Motion to go into executive session for the purpose of litigation.
All right, there's a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of litigation.
Cybersecurity and real estate.
Cybersecurity and real estate.
Cybersecurity
and real estate.
Also, some financial issues that needs to be discussed in
Financial issues.
Yes, in executive session.
Does it fall
with
under
the
personnel?
audit that's going on.
We can't talk about the audit.
Well,
That's not an executive session item.
Oh, okay. It's financial,
Okay.
Is it something you want to?
So what is the motion to enter into executive
We have
session?
to add it onto the agenda.
The motion is litigation, cybersecurity, and real estate.
Litigation, cybersecurity, and real estate.
And real estate.
Is there a second?
There was no first.
Second.
I didn't get a first.
I'm sorry.
Did I?
There was never a motion.
Okay, hold on. Is there a motion to enter into executive
So
session?
moved.
Hold on. Wait, hold on. Is there a motion to enter into executive session for the purposes of cybersecurity, litigation, and real estate?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present. We will enter into executive session at this time.
Thank you.
Good evening. We're back. At this time, I'll take a motion to exit executive session.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second? Thank you, Councilmember Karn. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move forward to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present. We exited executive session at 11:57 p.m. Is there a motion to renew a cybersecurity contract in the amount of $53,290?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous amongst those present. Is there a motion to approve the mayor to execute a quitclaim deed to BIDA for the property located at 4570 Edison Drive?
Motion.
Thank you, Councilmember Karn. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
That is unanimous. Excuse me, that is unanimous amongst those present. Any additional business?
Yes, to accept do we accept the minutes from executive, no?
No, we did not.
accept the
Thank you.
minutes
Thank
from
you, Councilmember
executive
McKenzie.
session.
Thank you for that motion. Is there a second?
Oh, I didn't motion it yet, but.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'd
I
like to
thought you
make a
did
motion.
Is there a motion to accept the executive session minutes?
So moved.
Thank you, Councilmember McKenzie. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilmember Arnold. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll move to a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. That is unanimous amongst those present. Any further business? Nope. Hearing none, we are adjourned at 11:58 p.m.
Right before.